Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's happening? What's going on? Everybody, how we doing? How we feeling? What's popping? Yeah, so we are here tonight, man. The late night show, as we often do. Checking into we're gonna react to the Raheem Morris press conference tonight. As everyone already knows, Raheem had his press conference earlier today, 2 p.m. It started when he was officially introduced as the Falcons' brand new head coach. So we're gonna actually react to that. We're gonna dissect it, and y'all know how we do. We're gonna read between the lines what they did say and what they did not say. Give our thoughts and our opinions on it. Also, let's go ahead and get these commercials out the way before we start. As you come in, please make sure that you hit the like button. Those of you that are watching on YouTube, make sure you do hit that like button for me. Shout out to also people that are watching or tuned in on Twitter or X. Salute to you. Make sure you hit that like button. As we always say, when you hit the like button, it lets YouTube know that we're on live or that we are currently live, and that way they can shoot the video out to people, and you can get notified of it. So yeah, please hit that like button for me, and we're gonna do our like goal for this broadcast. Gonna be 90 likes. As I've been saying the last few broadcasts, I want to thank y'all. We have been doing an excellent job of hitting our like goals. Appreciate the love and appreciate the support, man. And also, if you will, make sure that you do follow us on Facebook. The link to the Facebook page is pinned at the very top of the comment section. So follow us on Atlanta Bird Gang on our official Facebook page. And let me also say thank you to everybody that's already followed the Facebook page and who supports the Facebook page. I really, really do appreciate that. I'm happy to say and I'm happy to announce that earlier today we went over 10,000 followers on our official Facebook page. So let's ring the bell for that. 10,000 followers on the official Facebook page. And, we got a lot of gravity going on the Facebook page. So, again, I appreciate the love and the support that everybody continues to show Atlanta Bird Game, man. Appreciate that from the very, very bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. So those of you that are not already following the official Facebook page, make sure you do follow the page. We pour out a lot of content daily on the Facebook page. And, of course, as I said before, content on that Facebook page you won't find anywhere else. Of course, you can't find it on YouTube because, YouTube is pretty much a broadcast platform. As opposed to something like Facebook, where you can just, shoot out continuous content, at a push of a button. So yeah, make sure that you are following that. Follow us also on Instagram at Atlanta Bird Gang, and I've been saying this for months, but I'm gonna get the Instagram back popping too. I know some that do follow us on Instagram will probably think, well, he just don't even care about Instagram anymore. Which is not the case. I'm gonna get that page, the Instagram, back active once again. So check us out on Instagram. Check us out also on X or Twitter, whatever you call it. We are on that platform as well. And again, thank you very much for the support, man. I appreciate it a great, great, great deal. So let's talk about this Raheem Morris press conference, y'all. We're gonna react to it. We're going to talk about it. And as I said before, we're going to dissect it as well and give our thoughts and give our opinions on it. Um, let's go to the chat real quick before we get this thing started. We got G checking in. What's going on, G? How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming through, showing some love, man. What's popping? We got our dog C Dub is in the building. What's popping, C Dub? Always appreciate you showing a bunch of love, bro. Hope everything going well for you. We got our dog Millie Mills in the building as usual. What's going on, Millie? How you feeling? What's popping? We got Lisa in the building as always, showing a bunch of love. Lisa, how's it going? Hope everything is going well with you. Also, who else we got checking in? Just a second here. Lisa also said she went to her first Pro Bowl also. And did see the pictures. Looked like you had a very, very great time. Hopefully I'll be able to make a Pro Bowl also very soon as well. Look like you had a great time by looking at your pictures there as well. Who else we got checking in? We got Demetrius in the building as usual, showing a bunch of love. What's going on, Demetrius? How you feeling? What's popping? What's going on? G said, do you think Kyle Pitts will be traded? Hashtag free Kyle Pitts. Let's ring the bell. Free Kyle Pitts. Free our dog Kyle Pitts. Do I think Pitts will be traded? That's a great question, G. It's possible. It's quite possible. I can't say yes or no at this point, but don't be surprised if his name gets brought up in a lot of rumors. I definitely would not be surprised if Mr. Terry Fontenot is gauging his market value on the trade market. Would not be surprised by that at all. I'll just say to answer your question as best as I can, it's a possibility that he could be traded, especially if they decide that, look, hey man, we're gonna trade up and get us a quarterback. Kyle Pitts could be a part of that trade package. You know, we'll see how that goes. We'll know soon. That's a good thing about it. We're already in February. Free agency starts next month, so we won't have. It won't be long before we know. Come next month, there's gonna be a lot of willing and dealing going on. So we'll know fairly soon, man. We definitely will. Lisa says we need a quarterback. How this plays out will be interesting for us. Yeah, it's going to be another interesting offseason as Falcons fans. And you are absolutely right. We definitely need a quarterback. I actually saw a clip from our former quarterback, Matt Ryan. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have queued it up and played it. But and also shout out to Matt Ryan. Let's ring the bell for Matty Ice. And also, I'm sure Matt Ryan will never see this, but congratulations anyway to Matt Ryan. He will be working the Super Bowl on CBS, and that is a big feat, a big accomplishment for him in his new profession as a analyst there on CBS calling a game. And this is his rookie season, and already be calling a Pro Bowl. You know that says a lot about the job that he did this year, and he did a fantastic job as an analyst. He seems like a natural. Seems like he has been doing this for 15, 20 years strong. And for him to be selected to work the Super Bowl, that says a lot about him. So congratulations to the Iceman. But going back, they asked him today, how did he feel about Raheem Morris? Long story short story long. He pretty much said he thought it was a good hire to get Raheem Morris. He worked with him, of course, in the past. He said a bunch of good stuff about Raheem. But as he started talking, because he talked about it for about 2 minutes, he went into detail. He said, and I'm trying to make sure I don't totally misquote him. I'm not looking at what he said, but he said the Falcons he said Raheem Morris must stabilize the quarterback position. He said that's what held the team back last year. Matt Ryan says, in his opinion, one thing that the Falcons should look at doing is trading for a young player like Justin Fields, or look at trading up in the draft. Matt Ryan said he also expects the Falcons to be aggressive in the offseason. So aggressive could be trading up to get a quarterback. So, hey, man, it should be a very interesting offseason, just like Lisa said. 3 Dirty in the building. What's going on, 3? How you doing, bro? Hope everything going good with you, man. I appreciate you coming through, showing some love. Who else we got in the building as well? We got our dog King, Atlanta supporter, is in the building as usual, showing a bunch of love. What's going on with you, King? Because we better get a quarterback that want to play for us and not just get paid. Come on out here. I totally agree with you on that, bro. Totally agree with you on that. We got our bro Red Swarm checking in. What's going on, Red? How you doing, bro? Appreciate you always coming through, showing a bunch of love. Yo, what it do, Tidy? Repping that 478. Let's ring the bell for the 478 in the building. Y'all knew we got to always ring that bell for the 478. Red Swarm checking in, repping the 478, as am I. And y'all know how we do, man. Wherever you checking in at, rep your area code. You know what I'm saying? So we can give you a shout out. Make sure you rep your area code, rep your area. 478 coming in strong as usual. C-Dub says, I believe Terry wanted Fields and not Pitts, but I could be wrong. I know there was a lot of back and forth on that back in Fontenot's first year as the Falcons general manager, and Arthur Smith's first year as the head coach on who wanted the quarterback and who wanted the tight end. And we may know that, but it'll probably be years down the road before that's really ever revealed. But it's going to be quite interesting to see how everything plays itself out. Raymond Collins in the building as usual. What's going on, Raymond? How you feeling tonight, bro? Appreciate you coming through. We got our dog, Dr. Gunja, in here. Says, I think Terry will be aggressive this offseason. Yeah, we just said that. Matt Ryan said that as well, man. So maybe he was throwing the Falcons a public alley hoop. You know what I mean? Michael Matthews in here. What's going on with you, Mike? Says, yo, back to you, man. What's going on? We got our dog, Cool C, is in the building. Yo. What's popping, Cool C? How we feeling? How we doing, man? Preston checking in says, what's up, Bird Gang? What's up with you, Preston? How you feeling? What's going down? Lisa says, repping that big 404 in the building. Shout out to the 404 coming through big and strong. Checking in. Let's see here. C-Dub says, let's talk Raheem Morris. Yes, sir. MVG's in the building. What's going on with you? I ain't seen you here in a little bit. What's been popping? How you doing? Dr. Gunja says, you see how Raheem said we have some holes to fill, a clear vision. Yeah. For the most part, I enjoyed the press conference today. I like what I heard. But as we all know, hey, they got to manifest itself starting in September when the real games start to get played. So we're going to see how everything goes. See, Doug said he repping that big 770 in the building. Shout out to the 770. 770 coming in real strong in the house. What's going on? Red says, hey, y'all, we got the right guy. I definitely hope so, Red. I definitely hope so, man. He definitely going to have my support going into the season. Zay in the bag in here. What's going on, Zay? How you feeling, bro? What's popping? What's going down? Demetria says, it was a great press conference. I like how Raheem said that he's not trying to be the smartest person in the room and how the best person got the job. Yeah, I recall him saying that as well. He came off very personable, very entertaining. Also, he was very entertaining. And also he just, came off as a big people person. And I'm sure that helped him in regards to the interview and getting the job as well. Let's see who else we got checking in as well here. Give me just a second. Raymond says, I imagine these fellows already got an idea and plan for obtaining a quarterback. I think so, too. I'm sure they've had conversation about that already because, as we just mentioned, man, like, hey, man, free agency will be here soon. The draft will be here soon. So I'm pretty sure they already got a plan in place on what they would like to do and how they would like to get it done. And I'm excited about what's coming in the future for the Atlanta Falcons. Thank you, Dr. Gunja. Appreciate that. Thanks a lot. Atlanta supporter, thank you. I appreciate that. C-Dub says, ring that bell. Let's ring that bell once again. Lisa says they need a plan as well as 3 to 5 contingencies. Red Swarm says, man, did y'all see how happy Terry Fontenot was with Coach Rob? I did. I definitely noticed that. Looked like they've got some good chemistry to start off with. He looks so happy to have a real head coach. Banging on Coach Arthur Smith. Banging on Coach Arthur Smith. Dr. Gunja says, I think Terry happy to have McKay out the way. I didn't see Reggie McKay in the press conference. I didn't see him. I didn't see him at all. Full transparency, I started watching the press conference at 2:12 p.m. So I probably missed like the first 11 or 12 minutes. But we're going to run this thing back and we'll look at everything together. April Thomas in the building. What's going on, April? Appreciate you coming through, showing some love. How you feeling tonight? How you doing? What's going on? Thank you very much, Demetrius. Congratulations on reaching the milestone. Appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Lisa says McKay was in the cut. Okay, I didn't see him out there. Somebody did share a picture during the group, and I still didn't see him. I got to go back and zoom in on that picture. Marlon says, "What's up, Atlanta Bird Gang and chat fan? What's going on, Marlon? How you feeling tonight?" I watched and loved the press conference. Terry Fontenot really looked relieved. I'm seeing a lot of people say that as well, man. And Terry looked very, very comfortable. He looked cool. He looked collected. So I'm just hoping they get the chemistry that we need, man, to get the train back on the track, man, because us fans, we've been through a lot. We just ready for the team to start back winning. I know the front office is ready for it. I know Arthur Blank is ready for it as well. So we're gonna cross our fingers, cross our toes, and definitely hope for the best. We got our guy William in the building. What's going on, William? So Jesus Christ is good. How y'all doing? We are doing fantastic, bro. Appreciate you coming through, showing some love, man, for the second night. I thank you very much. Red Swarm coming in with the super chat, man. Appreciate that, Red. Thank you very much, brother. I really, really do appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot. Just tired of Terry Fontenot was smiling his ASS off today. I guess he was happy to have a real head coach to work with. He was definitely smiling. And he had a big smile on his face. And I will say this about Terry in the press conference forum. I was just happy to see him in the driver's seat in the press conference. Of course, Raheem talked the most because, as Raheem said, it was his press conference. But you can kind of tell that they gave Terry the keys to the car. Say, hey, lead the press conference. You know, this is going to be your first official one where Arthur Blank ain't here, Rich McKay ain't here. So, hey, you the man. You know, Greg Beatles was there also, but you can tell that Terry was driving the car. And I think he was. I'm not gonna say I think. I know he was happy about that. He was satisfied by that. Also, you know, another part of them taking the training wheels off Terry and letting him drive the car and control the ship. You know, so shouts out to Terry, and I just hope he does a good job for the Falcons going forward. But like you say, Red, you can tell he was happy. He was smiling, and like you said, a real head coach. With experience, you know, so we don't have a totally green head coach in Raheem Morris. Lisa said, how do y'all think Ritter is feeling? That's a good question. The writer seems to be on the wall. Any chance he remains as a backup? Great question. I'm not sure how Desmond was feeling watching the press conference. I'm sure he watched it, or how he felt after the press conference. And I agree, the writing does definitely seem to be on the wall for Mr. Ritter. Any chance he remains our backup? I think it's a strong possibility he will remain our backup. If they do trade up to get a quarterback, he could be included in any possible trades. You know, he is a young quarterback with starting experience, you know. There was some good things about this Ritter. I'm not going to play like he was all trash, but of course he just needs to be developed more. He needs more time in the oven. But I think it's a strong possibility he would remain as a backup. And I really think for his level right now in the NFL, he is a backup quarterback. I think he would be I think he is a solid backup. He's just not a starter in this league. But he could be a very, very solid backup. Come in and give you 2 or 3 games of need be, but a full 17-game season, don't know about that one. Don't know about that one. Atlanta Porter said Matt Ryan needs to come to practice. I'm sure Matt will be there. I'm sure he'll be there. He was there last year. I'm sure Matt Ryan will probably be at in some form and fashion at all the practices going forward throughout the years. Just like Roddy pretty much come through most years if it ain't nothing but for a day or two. So I'm sure Matt will be there. You know, Matt still lives in the Atlanta area. Actually, I think Matt Ryan lives I think he lives like a block or two away from one of Arthur Blank's houses. So, you know, I'm sure he'll be there. Him and Blank still have a great relationship. Him and Richmond K still have a good relationship as well. Let me see. King Richard, man, these commercials be killing me. It always comes on when you about to spit some fire. My bad, King. My bad, man. I wish there was a way that I could control when they come on, man. But there's YouTubing. You know, that's YouTubing. You know, so hopefully they ain't a major interruption, man. I apologize for that. Zay in the bag says 410 in the building. Baltimore checking in. What's up, Baltimore? Baltimore coming in strong, repping that 410 in the building. What's going on? What's popping? Atlanta Sports said I need to see some changes. Tired of the same thing every year. Seems rigged. ATL Sports said seems rigged. But I hope they rig it for us, bro. I think we've been through enough. At what point in time do they rig it for the Falcons? You know, rig it for us and let us win. We ain't repping that 912 strong in here. What's up, 912 in the building? 912 coming through Savannah, Georgia. C. Pope in the house. What's happening, C. Pope? King Richard Decatur, Glenwood Road checking the east side in the house. Shout out to the whole East Side. What's going on? We got the Bronx Bomb in the building. My dog Robinson, my brother, says 718 in the building. Shout out to the 718. New York in the building. What's going on? Uncle Terry and Cousin Morris gave me a sense of control, sense of in control, and we're in good hands, at least for now. I hope so. I certainly hope so. Definitely hope so, Robinson. Preston says we finally got a head coach with some NFL head coaching experience, and he looks like me. Yes, this is the very first time in the Arthur Blank era that he has hired a head coach who has had previous head coaching experience. And it seemed to me that was pretty obvious that was the objective with the new head coach. As we know, and as they mentioned a couple times, they pursued Bill Belichick pretty heavily. He has decades and decades of experience, and Raheem eventually got the job. Also, an interview with Harbaugh, Mike Verbal. So it just seems like they really wanted a guy with experience, and that's exactly what they got. Raymond says the 912 representing the Falcons down here in the Sweet Onion City. That gotta be Vidalia, Georgia. Checking in. What's up to the 912 coming through? Shout out 912 is in the building. We got our dog Smitty Sports Machine in the building. What's going on, Smitty? How you feeling, brother? How you doing? And if y'all are not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to my bro Smitty at Smitty Sports Machine. Also, always dropping great Falcons content. So make sure that you all subscribe, run up the likes, run up the shares, and run up the comments. What's going on, bro? Wallace in the building. What's up, Wallace? How you feeling, brother? Says what's going on with your tight end. I think it was a great press conference with a lot of energy in the building. Yeah, great point, Wallace. It was a lot of energy. Definitely in the building. Definitely in the building, man. You can kind of feel it as you was watching it, man. It was very energized in there. Let's see who else we got in here checking in. King Richard, do you think they make big changes to the defense? I think there are going to be some significant changes to the defense because, we have some starters that was on a 1-year contract. There's no guarantee that Calais will be back. Calais could return. He could retire. He may go to another team. Who knows? Depending on how he feels. Bud Dupree, there's no guarantee he'll come back, even though he is a hometown guy. He might have played himself into a bigger contract that the Falcons may feel like too rich for their blood. So he may have a team that comes to just offer him a bag so big that he can't deny it or say no to it. Who knows what's going to happen with Richie Grant? Does Raheem Morris feel like he's a solid starter? Does he feel like he needs to do something with Richie Grant? I think there will be some changes. Troy Anderson will be back from injury, but I don't think he's gonna. Well, I ain't gonna say I don't think he won't get his starting job back. That's Nate Landman's job going forward. Cornerback 2, Jeff Okudah. Unless he just takes a real easy team-friendly contract, I don't really see him coming back. And as far as Clark Phillip goes, I don't think Clark Phillips is at the point where you can really trust him to be the cornerback 2 on the team. So, to really answer your question, I think we will see some pretty big changes or at least significant changes on the defense side of the ball for sure. Let's see who else we got checking in real quick. Just a second. Mac Town, Dirty and Bitter. What's up, Mac Town? It's Raheem Obama Morris. What's good with you, Mac Town? Wallace also says, I think Raheem and Terry are going to ask for studs on the defensive free agency. So you just answered King Rich's question when he said, will there be any big changes going forward? So you just answered that question also. So again, man, appreciate everybody coming through, man. So let's go ahead and get this show on the road. What I'm going to do, man, I'm going to drop the chat. If anybody want to come on and react to the press conference with me, you're more than welcome to click that link and come on. I just dropped the link in the comment section. So if anybody want to come on the show or come on the panel, we're going to watch the interview together or the press conference. I don't know why I said interview. We'll watch the press conference together and then we'll react to it. We'll pause it periodically and talk about it. So I'm going to go ahead and cue that up. Give me just a second here. Let me share my screen and bring that presser up. Let's see here. Where is that at? Oh, I got so many I got so many tabs open that I ain't supposed to have open. I should have cleared my tabs out before I started the stream. All right, so let's bring everybody up real quick here. Just a moment. Let me cut this music off real quick. Also, y'all, just a moment here. There we go. Let's see if I can blow up the screen. That way we can see the interview press conference. Hold on. Let me get this. Take that off. Take that off. Blow this up. There we go. All right. Yeah, that should be. I'm trying to blow it up so we can have a bigger screen, but it's not letting me do it. I'm gonna figure that out. But let me go ahead and bring people up on the panel. Y'all give me just a second. I'm trying to multitask and I'm not doing a good job of it. We're gonna bring in C Dub. We're gonna bring in Smooth Smitty. We're gonna bring in William also. Y'all, welcome to the panel, y'all. How everybody doing?
What up?
Hey, how y'all doing, fellas?
Everybody good?
Yeah. Hey, Smitty and Will.
Good. What's good?
All right, y'all. So what we'll do is we're gonna start the press conference and we'll just stop it periodically, and then we'll talk about it, we'll dissect it, and we'll also give some thoughts on things that they may not necessarily say. So I'll just go ahead and I'll get it queued up and we'll begin.
Good afternoon, y'all. Welcome. Want to make a quick announcement before we get started. Our owner, Arthur Blanks, very disappointed to not be here today. He had a minor medical issue come up over this weekend, and he's being treated. He's doing really well, and he's resting today. I've spoken to him several times over the last couple hours. He's very disappointed to not be here. He knows you have questions you want to ask him. So we are going to hopefully work on a teleconference later in the week as he starts to feel better. So stay tuned on details for that, but that is why Arthur's not here. Again, he's in great spirits, and he's really excited about the man that's sitting in the center seat. He's also, because I know some of you asked, he's very pleased that FIFA yesterday added another validation to his vision for what this building is and what it means long-term for the great city of Atlanta. So with that, we're going to get started. We'll turn it over to our president of the Atlanta Falcons, Greg Beatles.
Thank you, Brett. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. On this very historic, exciting day for us, for the Falcons, we're excited to welcome Raheem Morris here as our next head coach and his beautiful family over here. All right. Excited to welcome his beautiful family back to Atlanta as well. Thank you guys, all you media, for being here and covering us throughout the year. We do appreciate it. Thank you to all our fans, friends, family that are watching with us online today as well. We appreciate all your support. So first, just a few things about the search itself. We began in earnest back on January 8th after the press conference. And as you've seen, we had 14 just outstanding candidates. Arthur promised that we would have a very thorough process, thorough search, and we did. We had a wonderful team working, supporting us, doing a lot of research, working through all the interviews. So I want to thank all of them for the great work that they've done for the last month or so, and excited that we've landed on the right leader here with Raheem for our team. So we will start out. We'll have a few words from Terry. He'll pass it over to Raheem, and then David Bassity is going to moderate us, and we'll wrap up before 3 o'clock.
All right, guys. So again, like Greg said, really appreciate everyone being here, particularly Raheem's family. Very exciting. It's a really exciting day for all of us. I'll go back. I haven't addressed anyone, so I want to go back to the season just briefly. And I understand that we all had high aspirations for this season. We didn't reach our marks, and we didn't get to where we need to get this past season. And there were some positives, but clearly we didn't reach our goals. That's on all of us, starting with me. At the end of every season, whether you win 7 games, 12 games, or you win the Super Bowl, you're always going to take a step back and look at every process and go through the entire organization and look at areas you need to improve. And that's what we're always going to be doing. We're always looking in the mirror and the entire building. We're all looking at ways to improve. We understand that difficult decisions are made, and we know Arthur Blank has said that those decisions aren't taken lightly. I want to acknowledge Arthur Smith, and we had a great relationship, a very collaborative relationship. And I would say from 2021 to this point right now, we do believe that this team is in a different place, and Arthur played a big part in that. So we wish him and Alice and his family the absolute best moving forward as they take their next steps in Pittsburgh. As we get into the search, Greg said it was a thorough process. It was very.
Okay, we'll stop right there to start with, y'all. We first off, we got a Terry Fontenot silence ring the bell for Terry.
Yeah. Bird watcher.
No longer a psychiatrist, but back in his role as a general manager. I'm gonna say this, and I'll pass it, y'all. I really do appreciate Fontenot starting out the press conference, acknowledging the fact that hey, he didn't say it, but he kind of did say it. We failed, and that starts with me. I was part of that. We didn't reach our goals that we planned for the 2023 season. I appreciate him acknowledging that and just not sidestepping that and going straight to Raheem Morris. What's y'all thoughts on that? Whoever want to start.
I go first, man. Terry Fontenot just being honest from the jump, and I think Terry Fontenot that Arthur Smith didn't took the job very seriously, and I think Arthur Smith ego really cost his team holding us back because every game that you could tell through the press conference, him and Arthur Blank watching games, just being upset and just Terry Fontenot just looked frustrated. And then that start with Arthur Blank too. That's his fault too. Even though he's sick, I'm wishing for a speed recovery. You don't hire the head coach before you hire the GM, so that's on Arthur Blank too. You go ahead, Smitty. I'm done talking though.
Smitty?
Oh well, shit. I ain't got nothing to say right now. I just want to hear the rest of it. But from what he said, man, I'm just glad to see him up front. That point blank period, because he should have been in the process when they hired the other coach. I think him having his hand in this and getting somebody he's comfortable with, and I think he really had the final say so as to what coach to bring in, because I think Belichick, he probably bailed out when he found out he couldn't get control. So they said, Raheem, what's your choice? We want to see what you got. So he said, I take a chance on this guy. He was here before. He knows the city. He knows some of the players. He's comfortable here. So, hey, he brings in his own staff. He's worked with these guys before all over the NFL. So it's a fresh start for everybody, every position. But one key coach that I think that's the key to this whole thing, and that's Jerry Gray. Jerry Gray was part of that coaching staff that brought the Atlanta Falcons defense back to being a top 10 defense. And I think with him still being on the team and we still having most of those players, I think that helps put us back into contention and put us back on the right track.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm honestly, it's like an amen corner on this one. I like that we got to see Terry up front. I like Terry basically taking accountability for, the season before. I mean, Tidy, we talked about how does Terry deserve smoke? It's, and it was never saying, hey, he needs to be gone. It's more of, hey, this is what's happened. Let's acknowledge it. It's been acknowledged, and he's, to, take accountability. That's awesome. And, like I said, just there, you're hearing him talk. You could just feel I don't want to just say relief, but it is relief, or at least just knowing now that this is now his show. You could definitely tell, and this is really what we all wanted to see was him and Rob together on that table right there.
I agree. I
I
agree. I think it's
totally
a
agree.
relief too. I think it's a relief because I'm gonna let you talk. I forgot your name. But Rich McKay was the problem too, also as well too. So I'm glad he out doing soccer. So that's all I'm gonna say on that. I just think Terry Fontenot was feeling real relief about Rich McKay stepping down football operation.
Yeah, he looked very confident to start it off.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll continue.
Detailed and organized. Very appreciative of everyone involved in the search. Our entire organization was involved. There are some specific people. I'm not going to start naming people, but it was an excellent process, very thorough. There were excellent candidates from former head coaches to there's some candidates that have become head coaches since then, and also some that we know will be head coaches. And we appreciate that because that's not easy to go through that. Some guys are in the playoffs. You really put yourself out there when you're going through that process. And so it was very thorough. It was very detailed. We really appreciate everyone that was involved in it. Through that search, it was very clear that there was one person that really stuck out, and that's Raheem Morris. And it was his infectious energy, his natural leadership, his charisma, his football instincts and intelligence, but also his collaborative mindset and the way he puts people around him and listens and empowers people. His clear vision for what we're going to do here. And he's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's been to 3 Super Bowls. He's got 2 rings, and we're going to get him another one. That's our charge. But it's been very fun working with Raheem these last 10 days. And I don't know when he sleeps because he's on the West Coast and I'm on the East Coast, and he usually wakes me up in the morning about 5. I'm getting texts from him. He's a FaceTime guy. He likes to FaceTime. So I know his family well already. I've met all Nicole and the kids because we're always FaceTiming. But it's been excellent as we've gone through and putting together the staff. The next step will be to work through our roster and really get into that, get into formulating our offseason plan, how we're going to attack free agency, how we're going to attack the draft. And we're going to make sure we put together a team and that is competing for championships and that is having sustained winning. That's what our owner, Arthur Blank, our organization, and most importantly, our fans deserve. So with that, very excited to join Arthur Blank, Greg, our entire organization, in welcoming back to Atlanta Raheem and his family. Thank you.
That was awesome, Terry.
Yeah, real quick before Raheem speak, I'll just say this, watching this so far, it seems new and fresh because you don't have the same 2 faces that I think a lot of the fan base had kind of drawn tired of and they had associated with so much losing, and that's Arthur Blank and Rich McKay. And I'm not trying to throw mud on them or talk bad with them, but after so many losing seasons, and then you're seeing the same 2 people at a firing press conference, a hiring press conference, a firing press conference, a hiring press conference. Now you got a new face. You got Terry Fontenot out in charge. You got Greg Beatles there, somebody we never hear talk. I mean, this is really my first time seeing him publicly, to be honest with you. So it just is new and refreshing, and I hope Arthur Blank sees this and realizes that. And I know we still got to play a lot of football, so we don't know how this going to finish, but it's okay to step back sometimes. You know, I think Terry Fontenot can do this job. He definitely can hold a press conference, and I just think this is a fresh, new look so far from what I'm seeing from this press conference.
And you know what I like the most about this man, to be honest, the way the players spoke out for Raheem Morris. There were 2 Rams players, Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald, spoke highly of him. Matt Ryan even spoke highly of him. When players speak highly of you as a head coach, that lets you know that you're doing something right. And I see people around here talking about, well, he didn't do that when he was here. You got to think about he's coaching someone else's team that they built. He gets his own chance to build his type team. So this right here, man, is going to tell us a lot in the next 2 years. I give it 2 years. If everything on the right track in 2 years, a Super Bowl is going to come to Atlanta.
Thanks.
Yeah. Amen. I mean, you could just see it's almost like you just see the confidence. And what people don't think about is that look at the coaching staff he was working with, like you were talking about, Smitty, and look how quickly he assembled the coaching staff he wanted when he got here. The second, it's just, it aggravates me when I hear the argument of, oh, he didn't do nothing, the first time around. It's like, guys, it was a broken season, to say the least. So, yeah.
But one thing that people don't think about, though, when he became a head coach the first time, he was only 32 years old.
Right.
Let's be real.
He was young.
What he was younger than Sean McVay when he got the job. Just think about that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he'll get it together. Trust me. He done learned a
yeah.
lot since he got hired the first time in Tampa Bay. Trust me.
And, and what
Oh
what
yeah.
I'm and what I'm saying, I'm gonna say this: we got to keep Kyle Pitts. I don't want to see Kyle Pitts leave. I feel like Raheem Morris deserves a second chance, and Zach Robinson. We're gonna have one running back, I think three wide receivers and one tight end. So this offense gonna be potent, man. We get another second wide receiver, go with Drake London. It's gonna be a potent offense. It's gonna be hard for defense to key on them. But you can play the video. That's all I got to say on that.
All right. And let me also say salute. Appreciate you, Brian, coming through with the super chat, man. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that support, bro. Hope everything going good with you. See Chris and Lewis checking in the building. How it's going, Chris? How you doing? All right. So let's keep going on the video, y'all. Start it back up.
No, this is a pretty tight crew today, I can see. Got to loosen you guys up a little bit. I know Allison's back there. She's pretty excited about this. But I had to loosen the crew up. You know, this is not one of those tight situations. I want you guys to be comfortable in this environment with me because we'll be here a lot, right? And it's pretty cool. But I wanted to start off by first thanking my family. I know they've been mentioned 3 times already, but I wouldn't be in this position without my extended family, my immediate family, whatever you want to call them over there. But my lovely wife, Nikki, my daughter, I don't even know. I can't even look at her anymore. My 13-year-old daughter, Maya, my 8-year-old little princess over there, Malia, and that little dude we call Jalen. Fired up to have those guys here for me, and what a wonderful deal. My mom and dad, I'm fortunate to be here and just delighted and doing it for the second time and getting this position and then having your parents be a part of that and a part of getting back into the situation. Man, I can't tell you how good that feels as a son and as a person inside this family and being with these guys and just everybody that came today to support me and my in-laws, my brother-in-laws, my mother-in-law, everybody involved. And it is absolutely outstanding that they're all here with us. They're with me. My agent in the back, Brian Levy, he's got the camera. He thinks he's part of the media today. Outstanding guy, him and Cedric Saunders. And I wouldn't be here without the Lazans and their help and what they've done for me and everything that's happening with our family and everything that's moving forward. And I thank you guys for coming to support me today. Next, I just wanted to thank the Blink family. And you guys know how close and tightly related I am with the Blink family. But to make this thing happen, to be a part of each other, so thankful, so thoughtful. What a process that I went through with everybody, just the National Football League in general. But having to be a part of the Atlanta Falcons is absolutely outstanding. You know, I know the family well, from the sons and Josh and Max to Arthur himself, to everybody that was involved, that was there every day on a day-to-day basis. This organization with Greg, with Rich McKay, with Terry, and everybody that was a part of that, with Brett Jukes, all of us. It's so nice to come back and see familiar faces from when you were here the first time and to be able to meet some new people that you're really excited to work with and you're really ecstatic to work with. That was such an awesome feeling. And I also want to thank the people where I come from in LA and the Cronkies and their family and Josh and Stan and just the all-out support that they gave me all the way from the top, going to Les Need, Sean McVay, Kevin Demoff, Tony Pastor, and the people out in LA were absolutely outstanding and how they supported me through the whole process, how they've guided me through the whole process. They've let me grow. They've matured everything that you've done in this business and some of those things. I want to let you guys know, I do understand the importance of being the first Black coach in Atlanta history without an interim tag. Understand the importance for that for us. Understand the importance for the people before me, the people after me, the current people right now. Understand the importance of that and how important that is to this city, particularly where we are right now in the Mecca of Black history, right? I think that's very important to acknowledge. The next thing I want to talk about is really the we factor. I am so excited to collaborate with Terry Fontenot and his family and our organization and his group and everything that they've done, right? Since I've left, they've done nothing but build pieces and get just a tightly knitted team put together. They've added to the culture that I can't wait to be a part of and add to. And I just think that was a really important factor for me to come back and a really important factor of allowing me to come back and be a part of that and I can't say enough about what the people around me have done moving forward and how we're going to move forward together. Make no mistake about it, right? The community supports us on Sundays to go out and win a game. And it's our job to support this community in a bigger way than you can even imagine. So I understand the importance of that as well. This Atlanta community is awesome. I can still remember the day of painting houses and all of our projects that we do. This whole family, this A&B group is just an outstanding thing to be a part of. And I just can't wait to be a part of that thing and fully invested in doing all the stuff that we want to do with this community. And then the last thing I'm going to mention is the reason we're here. It's going to be a winning culture, and we're here to win football games. At the end of the year, there is only one team that's happy. And Terry mentioned it, but I've only been in that position twice in my career, and I can't wait to go back there again. And I can't wait to do it with you. You guys, the media, you're part of this too. You're part of this team. I know you guys are all serious because it's the opening press conference. You give me the mean looks, but I'll get that out of you soon enough. Let's shake this crowd up, man, and let's have some fun and let the next part of this press conference begin with David Bassley leading the way.
All right, what are y'all thoughts on his opening statement, bro?
Man, I feel like Raheem Morris is standing on business. You know, you're gonna have media, like people in the media saying negative things, and like this dude right here named Zach, the potato. He keeps saying he reminds him of Todd Bowles. It's just nothing but ignorance. But Raheem Morris is standing on business, and I think this coaching staff he put a good players around him to have the team ready on game days, and he's not gonna rah type guy. He's gonna hold men accountable and lead his man in victories. And I think he don't take that lightly.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm gonna go with what I said on what I just typed in the chat. I know he's gonna be a great leader because he's a good listener, and to be a good leader, you have to be a good listener because everybody don't know everything, and his attention to detail tells me he's gonna be hand and foot with this team and make sure he puts everything in the right spot to make this team successful. And with the coach like that, you can't help but to support, help but to get him what he needs. So I love it so far.
Smitty, let me ask you this real quick. And this is for some of our fan base who made, and I think I saw somebody type something like this in the chat. We hired the worst candidate that was available. What's your thoughts on that? You think he was the worst candidate, or what's your feedback?
No. See, that's to be. I'm gonna just say this, man. You know, I don't care. I just think people like that, they really just don't know football. I'm gonna just keep it real with you, because how do you know he's the worst candidate and he hasn't coached the game yet?
Yep.
And let's keep it real on this. Also, when you talk about fit, when you talk about familiarity, when you talk about comfortable, Raheem Morris fits all those boxes for the Atlanta Falcons. Why would you not bring someone back in that's already tied to this city, that's tied to some of these players? And he's just, a good coach. If, like I said earlier, if NFL players are backing him to get a head coaching job and saying he deserves it, and other coaches as well, he deserves it. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. What happened to Eric Bieniemy today in Washington?
Woo, come on. Mm-hmm.
Let go.
Yeah, Sergeant Slogan strikes again. Sorry.
That just lets you know, man. Coaching ain't promised to nobody. I don't care how good you are. And when you got people backing you, players and coaches, you doing something right. And like I said, being a good listener, being a good leader, it always comes from listening. He's listening to all these players that has his back. Trust me.
I just look, when you look at the resume, we talk about, well, what do you bring to the table? First of all, he's in his, mid 40s, I think?
47.
All right. So, oh, wow. He's 1 year older than me. Dear Lord, man. I wish I looked that good. Anyway, so, yeah, so he's in that good age. Not only that, he's coached on both sides of the football. He doesn't have an ego where he goes, no, it's all about me. No, he's been the secondaries coach. He's been a receivers coach. He's been a D coordinator. He's been all up the coaching staff, and he's worked with the great minds. To Smitty's point about being a good listener, the other thing, he's worked with great coaches and learned from them. We talk about after we let him go,
2020.
in 2020. People go, well, why didn't we just keep? Well, guys, he went to L.A. He's being coached. He's coaching with Sean McVay, who we find out is a close friend of his. And I get people say, well, if the Rams loved him so much, why did they let him go? Because they knew he was going to be one of those guys that deserved a head coaching job, and someone was going to take a chance on him, and they wanted him to succeed. And he said he's been on 2 Super Bowl winning staffs. So it's not like he doesn't know how to win it, So to me, when you look at that, and then leader of men, look how he's handling the media.
Yeah.
He's quickly disarming them by smiling, eye contact, and saying their names. Those are like small details, but those are things that makes oh, well, I can't really go at Rob, but, oh, shoot, I wasn't expecting. He knows my name. And he's like, yeah, I know your name. You've been here. I've been here. Yeah, and he's personable. And I'm just saying, to me, this is a guy we needed. When you looked at, like Smitty said, look at the boxes you wanted. He checks those boxes. I get the interim coach thing. Again, the man had Dirk Cutter as his freaking offensive coordinator. We really going to hang that man because of that? No, I'm not. That's why I wanted him back, because I wanted to see the connections that he made. Who would he have picked to be his offensive coordinator? And apparently this Zach Robinson, people are saying high praise about him. He could be another Shanahan guy. And you know what?
He had a smart mind. I remember him at Oklahoma State, actually.
Yeah.
They wrecked at Oklahoma State, and this dude has a sharp mind when it comes to being a quarterback. He played the position, so that's why I know that was a great hire. Some of these position coaches, they never played the game. So that's always an advantage. Being a player is always an advantage over just studying the game and just being a coach and coming from high school to college to the pros. He played football. That's a totally different ball game.
Yeah.
That is a complete positive.
All right, y'all. Zach got a rebuttal to y'all. He says the Rams had a stacked team. They could have won with anyone as the coordinator. They saying we could have coached that Super Bowl team, y'all.
Well, look at how, yeah.
Did Tom Brady go all the way to the Super Bowl at 17-0 and still lost?
Mm-hmm. Well, not just that, but that defense, those players talk about Raheem and talk about how he held them accountable. How they're deep. Sean McVay thanks Raheem for being his defensive coordinator, to being able to work with those guys. It's not just simple as, all right, you coach them. I mean, if that's the case, then Bill Belichick should have won the Super Bowl with Matt Patricia as the offensive coordinator.
Yep. Yeah.
Good point. Great point. All right, so I'm going to continue going on. I think we're going to have our first few questions now.
Oh, boy, here we go.
And open up to Q&A. If you can raise your hand if you have a question, mic holders will get to you. We'll start off on the left with Michael Rothstein.
Yeah, Raheem, you mentioned, obviously, this is not your, over here, other left, sorry. You mentioned that this is obviously not your first go-around as a head coach. What did you learn from those 3 years in Tampa? I know it's a long time ago, but what did you learn from those 3 years in Tampa that gives you the confidence that will be more successful this time around?
Mike, it's the overall maturity of the profession is really what you got to lean on. The overall growth. Since Tampa, I've dedicated really my professional development to helping whoever I worked for at the time. Right, I was fortunate enough to go to Washington and really work with Mike Shanahan and be around it and see a guy that's won Super Bowls as a head coach, be with him and just really develop, and him allow me to be behind the curtain, so to speak, moving forward to here with Dan Quinn and going through the process of what we were able to do and doing a lot of winning football games and being able to be a major part of helping and contributing to those factors. having the ability to go out to LA, get the job finished, being behind the curtains there as well, and being with that crew, Mike, it's been one of the things that you just can't ever forget about. One of the things that you can never look over and glaze over is the accomplishments that you have in your career. But now coming back and being a part of the collaboration the shared vision, all the things you want to do with Terry and what he's starting to build, and so excited to come back and going through this process and really going through it in a detailed fashion, I think it's the things that help us move forward. I'm fully prepared. I've been preparing for this since the last day when I was in Tampa, right? And you spend the rest of your time and the rest of your coaching career, you finished up figuring out when you're going to be ready for that moment. And this is the moment. And now it's time to go, Mike. And I can't wait to do it with you, even though I can't find you in the crowd.
That's a big deal, Mike. You asked in the first one. I thought we were going to zoom in.
I mean, I can't control that.
Vegas.
He's
Right.
lost in his hat. But Terry, for you, I mean, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, whatever it was, when Arthur Blank and Rich McKay were sitting up there, they said that, it was really them, that you'd have input. How much input did you end up having in this entire process, as you're the one up here, at least from a football perspective, that's answering the questions today, since Arthur Blank's not here?
Yeah, and Mike, I appreciate the trust and Arthur allowing me to lead that process. And there were a lot of people that were obviously heavily involved in that process, from Greg Beatles, Rich McKay, our assistant GM, Kyle Smith, Ryan Pace. A lot of people put a lot of work into that process, and we know the ultimate decision is on Arthur Blank. But I've learned a lot from the way Arthur leads, because he's making the final decisions, but he's very collaborative, and he wants everyone to be involved and wants to hear what everyone has to say. So I was empowered to lead that process. We know Arthur made the ultimate decision, but it was an excellent process, and we're excited about the result.
Okay, fellas. Terry said he did lead the head coaching search, and Arthur Blank ultimately made the final decision. But he said Blank was very open to collaborate and hear everybody's opinions. And I know since the press conference when Arthur Smith was fired, and until today, the fan base have had a lot of thoughts and opinions on that. So, what are y'all thoughts on what Terry is saying about the head coaching search and his part, the part he played in it?
But I told you a little while ago, I figured he was in the front because it just makes sense. What did he tell us when he got here? We're going to put more into the city and try to get more local talent into the city. So him bringing somebody back is not a surprise. He's part of the city. He's part of the plan. So as we look at this going forward, if he has control over personnel we put on the field, if they work together, Atlanta will have no problems. The reason why, they will sit down, talk through everything, and won't have to worry about going through no middleman. Middleman was the problem all along. So when you get rid of the middleman, you're able to talk face to face with who you need to talk to, the GM, and y'all on the same page, and y'all put the right product on the field, y'all unstoppable.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say, man, this year draft, man, I know we got free agency. I think for us, man, we need to really trying to get us a center, a right tackle, not trying to like overpay them. Like if there's some good veterans out there in free agency with centers and tackles, but we need that leadership in the locker room, offensive line, because we didn't have that since we had Alex Mack. And for me, I think we need to trade up with Chicago Bears, because we got to see what Chicago Bears doing, because they don't even know they're gonna keep Justin Fields. But if I'm us, I'm getting us a quarterback. If Justin Jayden Fields gone, what else the boy named May, I think we should get whoever available at 8. Go with your best, but I like Penix, even though it might be risky. But the dude got an arm. He wouldn't have to really scramble out the pocket and run the ball. He could just hand it to his running backs.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to what Terry is saying, I want to get back on that real quick.
Okay.
My thing is this: I'm just glad he's up front, and in what he's saying, I can believe, because that is what, to me, a GM should do. Is you get the candidates, and then you're like, okay, here's who I've talked to. Here's what I've done. Who do you want me to bring back in? And my thing is this: I think this coaching search, I think, did shift a couple of times, and I guess we'll talk about it more and more. But I believe that there was a chance that Belichick wanted to be here, but Arthur going, and this is where we know about Arthur being loyal, because Arthur probably was like, I don't want to lose that many people because of you. The price is too much. And that, and I remember people talking about Terry before he got drafted, before he came here, how they talked about he was going to be a really good GM or move up in New Orleans as the GM. And it just never happened because Mickey Loomis was still there. But they talked highly of him. So it's like you just got this crown jewel of a man who just had a really good free agent year for your team. I wouldn't want to let him go either.
Yeah.
And that's why I liked getting Raheem. So, and I'm going to actually go here. Would it have surprised me if Rich McKay even brought him up? No, it wouldn't. Because if we're talking about a collaborative effort, then that is part of that effort. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Great point. Go ahead, William.
Well, I was saying, man, him and Terry and Raheem, they on the same page, man. You looking at each other in the eye and they being honest. That's what you can see in the media. But you can play the video whenever you're ready. I guess many guys might on mute, so he probably handle some business. But you can play the video.
All right, let's keep going.
You're right. Please state your name and affiliation.
Absolutely. Hey, Coach Rex Castillo from WRBL News Team. First of all, congratulations on the job.
Thank you.
This coaching search had a lot of big names as well. With Coach Belichick, where you could talk to the casual fan about like his resume. Not saying you're not qualified, but for some people who may be, a little apprehensive with this decision, how can you assure the Falcons fans that they made the right choice? What you can do for them?
Rex, when you're talking about competing in anything that we do, you're always talking about going against the very best. And Coach Belichick, and however you want to word it or however you want to write that, he's going to be considered the very best, if not the best, to ever do it in our profession. And I got so much respect for what he's done in his career. I would never, ever feel slighted or feel anything other way than what people would feel about a Coach Belichick, right? But you got a process in place and you go through it and let the best man win. And whatever the case may be, I'm just fortunate to be sitting here in front of you. But to tell Falcon fans that we're going to go out there and do because of our football character, being accountable, being disciplined, being coachable, being dependable, I think those are the things that's got to get us going in the right direction. I don't think we can really focus on who was in the process, what you were doing in the process. It's just like going to play a game, right? When you go play those games, it really doesn't matter who's across those lines. It's our job to go out there and get wins. And that was my job in this whole process, is how I looked at it, right? I got so much respect for anybody who's interviewed or been a part of this process that I can speak the world about all of them. And it's not just Coach Belichick. It's all of them. It's all the people that we interviewed. Now, do I know their names? No, because they didn't matter at the time, right? Most of them were gray matter because it was just a competition. You're going out to present your best self, being the best version of yourself. And that's all I can be every single day.
Go back left to Allison.
Hey, Coach.
Allison.
How are you? Good to see you again. At what point, I guess, when you left in 2020, could you ever have imagined that you would be back here being the head coach for the Atlanta Falcons?
Allison, you hit the nail on the head. This is coming home. And when you get a chance to go back home in this profession, it is extremely important. And it is extremely critical to everybody involved. And that is a special moment, not just for me, but for my family, for everybody involved, for the media members that I see around that I know. I can feel the excitement through my texts. I can feel the excitement through the phone calls. I can look at DJ Shockley right now and feel the excitement, even though he's trying to be very serious in the back. But this has been a process for me that has been outstanding and so much fun. I can't tell you. I can't express the joy that I have right now to be able to come back and work with the Blanks, to be able to come back and work with all these people around me that I've been with for years. And I could talk about this for the rest of the press conference. I probably may bore you, but I don't know if you've ever been in this spot to coming back home, but this is certainly the best feeling in the world.
Go to Bailey back right.
I told you.
Hey, Coach. Bailey Burmeister.
I told you.
Mhm.
He's not playing. He's standing on business.
I told you. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
when you have that type of, when you have that type mentality about family, people have no choice but to follow you and buy into your philosophy.
Yeah.
And it's about gelling because let's be real, Falcon locker room was shot to hell by the end of last season. He's got to fix that mess first of all. So, family, everything. I knew that was part of the reason why they took him. I knew it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he keep referring to coming back home. So he obviously is very familiar with a lot of people in the building. Obviously, a lot of people in the press, and it seems like they're genuinely happy that he's back. You see the report him and Allison just had Wilbur Allison.
Yeah. And not just that, but it's also the emphasis he's bringing is he's been there in the beginning. He was there when they started building that facility. That was just a small little thing he said that kind of registered to me. So he was there and he was helping to help paint houses. So there's a grassroots for him. There's a personal attachment to it. And like you said, Smitty, family, but it's like a leader. It's not just sometimes to talk. He talked about the candidates. He didn't really care. He just knew what he had to do to get the job.
Right.
And that's tunnel vision. You can say whatever you want, but that's also goal focus, and that's what we need as our head coach is a guy not to look at numbers and all that. He's wanting the W's. He's wanting to make sure it don't matter if it's the all-time greats in the NFL playing us. We need to win the game. You really can't say much more than that.
And he made a great point about not worrying about who the other head coaches were. That lets you know he was only focused on what he was supposed to be focused on. And focusing on just yourself and your team is so key in the NFL because you can easily get distracted by what's going on out, around the NFL when you need to worry about your team, how you going to get that win the next week and keep moving forward. So, that was a great answer. I love that answer.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah, and Wallace asked a real interesting. Well, he made a good statement here, and I'm gonna read it. And y'all can give me y'all thoughts on what he says. But Wallace says, "I think we dodged a bullet with them not rushing the process to go ahead and hire Belichick, and them having to go through this process again after 3 years once he gets ready to retire." C. Doug, what you think about that?
Man, I'm glad they didn't rush it either. I mean, you think about those interviews and how, there were like 14, 15 interviews at one point. But, I don't know if it was your show, Tidy, but someone pointed out Arthur Smith got hired in 8 days. They interviewed everybody and they hired their guy. And this time they wanted to go through a detailed look, and I still believe they wanted a guy that was all about head coaching, who had that experience. So like Smitty was talking about, at the end of the season, I'm sorry, but the defense did not show up. The defense was like, we carried y'all. We're done. And
it was exhausted.
I mean, there was no juice left. So I honestly believe, there was I think if Arthur was cutthroat, as some people think he should be, he would have hired Belichick. But I'm going to stand on the fact the man is loyal to a fault, and he didn't want to lose the assets he did have in that building. And look, whether you agree or disagree, sometimes staying loyal means more than getting some jerk that, even though he may be the best, you know what? Maybe he's not going to fit I'm not talking about culture and all that. And that's why I think as soon as, Harbaugh was taken by the Chargers, I kept saying was going to be the guy because he had the experience as well as being under Kyle and under Sean McVay. And heck, I don't know what interview, but Raheem did also gave a shout out to Mike Shanahan too.
Yeah, he did. I think in his press conference he said something about Mike Shanahan. he followed when he was in his DC days and being a defensive back. He was watching Kyle Shanahan daddy call plays when he was with the Washington Redskins before they turned to Commanders. So that shows you he got experience, man, all around across the board.
And they told y'all from the jump, we going with experience this time. No more first year head coaches. So they
Exactly.
kept their word on
Yeah,
that.
thank God. I'm so happy about that. I'm sorry. I was scared we were going to hire Slovic. I really was.
Nah, I wasn't buying into that like everybody was. I was more into Mike McDonald, and I told y'all why.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
With Mike McDonald, you get great structure of what he had in Baltimore. He's been there 10 years. He knows the ins and outs of how to build a team from Harbaugh, from Ozzie Newsome, and those guys. So yeah, I think whoever Mike McDonald went to Seattle, right?
Yeah, you want
Yeah. And not only that, he got John Harbaugh's, I think John or Jim Harbaugh's son, Jay, as special teams coordinator.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Jay, yeah.
Yeah.
All
One
right.
more thing too, man. We're on Arthur Smith. I can't wait till we play them in the band. I guess we played them like hopefully like December time, and we play against the Commanders against Dan Quinn. So I'll be ready for to play them two former teams. He used to be our head coach slash offensive coordinator.
Yeah, you know both of them gonna try to come and whoop our ass. So that's gonna be some
No,
interesting matchups.
no, we owe the Commanders. 'Cause we lost at home. I think we can
Oh,
get
yeah, amen to that. We got to get the Commanders at least.
yeah. We got to
Yep.
blow them out.
I heard Sergeant Slogan already talking. Oh, God.
All right, so I'm gonna keep the video going.
Carolina news first. Welcome. Kind of going off of that, I'm curious from 2020 to now being here as the head coach, where do you feel like you've grown and changed both personally and professionally to make this feel different?
Bailey, that goes back to me talking about where I've come from, right? Getting a chance to go help a friend in Sean McVay, go win a championship, getting a chance to go be around Les Snead and really be jealous of that relationship, right? When I got there, one of the first things I told Sean, just noticing how we moved through daily and rhythm and routine and things that we've done was, man, I am jealous of you and Les Snead's relationship. I said, to watch you guys collaborate and move in silence, be able to talk about everything, have your communication ongoing, have your communication consistent, honest, open, all of those things that you guys do with each other, that is the next step. The maturity level that you get from that and being able to watch that and also talking to one of your really good friends while you're winning the championship, having the ability to go through some hard times that following year, having to start off with a really young team and start with your fundamentals, start with your physicality, start with controlling the ball, starting with some of those pillars, I thought it was a really cool process. It was a really cool learning experience for me. It was no more fun than helping one of your best friends in the world, one of the people that you care about, winning the championship with an organization, having a chance to take all of those lessons learned, being able to listen, being able to communicate, and now bringing it back here to the Atlanta community to go out here and win what we need to do. And I got a lot of confidence that we can do that.
Hallelujah.
Right here.
We'll go Gabe Burns on your left.
Hi, Raheem. Congrats. Gabe Burns,
Thank you,
AJC. Could you just give us a little insight into your coaching staff and why Robinson and Lake were the right guys to bring
Said
over?
that word again.
Yeah, I could talk about Robinson first. Robinson's our offensive coordinator for those who don't know. And I explained to these guys when we talked about our staff and we talked about this collaborative effort of going to look with people and being detailed in the people that we wanted to bring in. And Robinson, from my head and my experience, made a lot of sense. I was around the young Kyle Shanahan, and I saw him really develop and grow into this great play caller that we know that's playing next week, right? I was around Sean McVay when he was young, really young, right? He was with my family really young. And I watched him grow and develop into this great player that we know, play caller that we know. And when I talked about it, you start to name the names, the Mike McDaniels, you start to name the names, the Matt LaFleur, and all the people that you're able to work with, right? This organization was the first organization to allow me to coach on both sides of the ball, right? Whether it was switching in the middle of the season, whether it was switching during the season, whatever the case was. And I saw it. I worked with people. I was with Dirk Cutter. I was with all these guys, Steve Sarkisian, all those people in the playoffs. And I see Zach Robinson, and I see him in the same light. Right? I see him growing. I see him developing. I see him bringing this timing and rhythm and this balance to our offense that we can have and go out here and play. And whatever it looks like, it's going to be fast. It's going to be with those based on those pillars that we talked about earlier. And those are the things that really just lit me up and made me ecstatic to have an opportunity to bring a guy like Zach Robinson to part of this. And I won't go as elaborate to the rest of the people, but I go so far back with Jimmy Lake, talking about our Tampa days, our core beliefs, some of the things that we believe in, likely mindedness, his ability to go call it in college, really have a real tenure in college where you climb the ladder as defensive coordinator, going to a head coach, having the ability to go through some hard times, fighting through some things. So the people you want to be around are really people that really fought through the process. And then I get here and Marquise is here. And you're talking about a young, dynamic coach that you can bring on and keep a part of your staff because of the people you know that you've been around, that you trust, and that's hired this guy. And I thought that was really impressive to me, and I thought that was really important to me to be around the right people. Right? This is a people business. And I'll just talk about my coordinators right now, unless you have specifics. But I was really excited to be able to bring those guys as a part of the Atlanta Falcon family.
All right, Smitty, I know you're very knowledgeable on both coordinators, Robinson and also Lake. What are your thoughts on what he just said?
His attention to detail, man. Just like I said earlier, it's impeccable, man. But I agree with Zach Robinson, man. I actually said that in my video where he just said, man, Zach Robinson, with what he did in Los Angeles, you saw with Matthew Stafford with the veteran. But look at exactly what he did with Sean Mannion. Who else did they have?
Baker Mayfield. Yeah,
Baker Mayfield came off the street and won a football game. Did not really know the playbook. So that lets you know that Zach Robinson is a great teacher. And that's exactly what they need. And to be honest with y'all, I know we dog Desmond Ritter, but what if they hired the right guy to get through up here? Just think about that. I'm not saying he's going to stay, but I'm just saying
I got
the right guy to fix him up here.
That's gonna happen. Everybody gets second chances, though. You know,
like I said, though, man, his attention to detail. That's why he went through the coaching hires the way he did. He had some kind of tie to all of those guys. He's either worked with them, he's talked to them, or they've had some kind of communication for him to come up with a staff just that quick. He had a plan in place.
And I ain't really cut you off, Smitty, man. I feel
That's
like
all right.
I'm gonna say I feel like if Desmond Ritter really take this off season, get with Zach Robinson, start watching film with him. Maybe he could, watch the ropes underneath, Zach Robinson, because he played the quarterback position before. So all he need to do is just watch film, read his regression, see what the defense give him, read the free safeties, read the defense give him, and I guess go with your progression who wide open. You got your slot receiver, you got your tight end, your running back. Just got to read the plays and make a quick decision. That's all he got to be working with his progression. He'd be all right.
Okay. I'm gonna be really blunt, guys. I love y'all. Smitty, love you. Mad respect. All right. So no, I gotta say it, man. Look, if Zach Robinson can transform Desmond Ritter, all right, to a playoff caliber quarterback, that man, we will not have him. He's going straight to the Dallas Cowboys to be the new head coach. And I'm going to go here. Here's the thing. Desmond is going to learn a new offense. So that's going to be something that he's not going to be able to rely on old faithful stuff. And he's got a lot of work to do. So we'll see. I think he may be a backup. Heck, he might be the third string when all's said. But my thing is this. I just like what he said about the coordinators. And this man is all about building up the people that are around him. I'm just saying, this is what you want in a guy who's, he'll take accountability, but he's also, hey, this is why I went with this guy. This is why I went with Jimmy Lake. And, I think the Jimmy Lake thing is very intriguing, especially now that we've kept Jerry Gray. But by the way, coach that we're not talking about that got kept also was Ledford, the offensive line coach, and I think that's his. Yeah. I think that's just as huge as Jerry Gray staying. I was very happy to hear about that. So I'm like I said, and yes, if the other thing is he did work with Baker Mayfield, Carson Wentz. I forgot the other guy you said, but Yeah, so Zach Robinson has worked with a lot of different style quarterbacks. So I'm intrigued to see what they would want to do for their quarterback.
Good point. All right, so I'm going to continue going.
Got Josh Kendall on the right.
Josh Kendall with The Athletic. You refer to this as home. Why?
You know, Josh, I spent a lot of time in Atlanta before I was even in Atlanta, right? I was a frequent Mountain Sky visitor, right? That allowed me to be around Arthur,
Magic
his
City.
whole family, his entire family, and be a part of that whole nature of what it looks like, right? And a big part of what we do here is listening, right? And when I was here, I had the ability to grow and learn and develop and switching both sides of the ball, like I just mentioned, right? At the same place, at the same time, doing whatever it takes to win football games. Being here in 2016 and reaching the pinnacle and just coming up short, right? That was a real critical moment for me, right? So not only knowing the owner as the owner, but knowing him as a personal level. I've been hired by Rich McKay 3 times, right? In Tampa, here twice, actually 4, right? I mean, you don't get no more home than actually having the ability to talk about those things. Great Beatles, I remember I walked by this guy.
Yeah, I did too.
He said what, right? And I would walk by.
What'd you say, Smitty?
I hate he said that name.
Yeah, me too.
He just blew everything. But, you know, he part of the process, so I get it. I get it.
He had to say
at 4 o'clock in the morning, and he'd be the only person in the building. I'm wondering, who is this guy in the building with me, right? And now he's the president of this organization, and we're moving in the right directions. And these people here are just a part of my life. You know, they know my family, I know their families, and I can't wait to build this thing, man. This thing is different, right? You know, we spend more time with the people that we work with, sometimes more than our own families, right? And I have no idea how my wife made my daughter sit this still and this long and be this patient, but she's done an unbelievable job. And it's no different than what they've done with me and my development. That's why this is home.
You opened the door at Tampa Bay. What did you think was the single most important part of a head coach's job? And is that answer different as you sit there right now?
It's 100%, right? When you're 32 years old, you got all the answers, right? Just ask me and I'll tell you, right? And what you find out is a learning process every single day. And you better be able to lean on people and talk to people and find out what is the best thing that worked, right? When I took this job and I got offered it, right, by Terry and Arthur, obviously making the decision, but I told him in my interview process, I said, hey, I don't need to be the smartest person in the building. I want to hire, I want to be contribute, I want to collaborate with all the smart people that you've assembled. I mean, you talking about Carl Peterberg back there? You're talking about one of the smartest men I know. Right. And like, I want to be to collaborate with all those guys and get into the building and do those things and find out what's the best way to move forward with everybody that we're doing. Every person that we brought into the staff, whether it be any position, whether it's chief of staff, Steve Scarnecchia, and you bring a guy in like that to give direction and do the things that you want to do. And you join in with Sarah, who's going to absolutely take us to the next level, what we want to do and how we collaborate and how we go about our business. We're talking about Terry being with Kyle and talk about Ryan Pace. The development over the last 10 days has just been so much fun that I'm so excited to get to the job and actually get to Flowery Branch. I heard it's a construction site, but I can't wait to get out there to do what we need to do. And all of those things and all those factors that you build throughout the process help you learn and grow. And if you don't I learned a long time ago in Tampa Bay from John Gruden. I took my first job in 2002, the first time Rich McKay hired me. And John used to always tell us, he said, you either get better or you get worse. And I've been in the process of getting better since those days and that moment leading up to us right now.
Man, he seems so precise. I mean, he remembers people's name and their jobs, their positions. You can tell he's right at home.
Attention to detail.
You know,
I ain't mean to cut you off, man. I feel like the team is not playing soft no more. Between the white lines, we're gonna play dirty. We don't care about who we seen in our rivals, like the Carolina Panthers, the Saints. We about business. All that time to think y'all gonna have a sweet walk, not this year.
man, I just, first of all, the joke was when they said, "Why do you think this is home?" I'm sorry, Schmidt, I didn't mean to say Lemon Pepper or Magic City. I didn't mean to break you there. But no, it's just, I know, I'm a mess. I know, I apologize. But
man, But his attention to detail just crazy.
Yeah.
Man. He can remember every coach that he done been around in his career. That's crazy. So that
I mean,
lets you
but
know that he's gonna. And one key thing that he may not talk about in this press conference because I haven't seen it is he works. He knows both sides of the football, offense and defense. So he can go around the whole building and make sure everybody in the film room doing what they need to do.
by the way, there's an exclusive interview with him, Tori McElhaney, with the Falcons. It's on
I
their
gotta watch that.
YouTube page.
I gotta watch
Smitty,
that.
yeah, Smitty, I'll send it to you. But yeah, what was it? It's a really good listen. He goes into a lot more detail in some things, and it's more of what you're hearing about how he's home, but he knows that there's a job to do, and this is the detail, but the focusedness. It's like he's able to crack jokes in one form but then go straight back to the detail where what's the purpose here?
Yep. Yep. But the crazy thing is, he's been had that purpose all along. It's just been stowed away while he was gone. He said that. So he's learned a lot in those last 45 years, and he's gonna, keep growing. Like he said, keep getting better. So I believe him.
All right, so we'll keep going.
On your right, Steak.
Steak.
Hey, Coach.
Oh boy.
Steak Shapiro, 92.9 The Game. Unfortunately, 7 years ago was a seminal moment for Atlanta sports as you were up on the sideline to watch it.
Man,
I'm
that's all
wondering
he
how
could
much
do.
appreciation you have for the pain of that moment, how it shaped some of the Falcon fans, and if you allowed yourself to think about for yourself and the fans of Atlanta and the folks that have been through what that was.
And can we go out for lunch?
What it would be like to kind of bring it all back home and you be a part of that, and what it would mean for this community.
You won the award for best dress, by the way. You got it.
I'll tell you this. It is a part of coming home, right? That 2016 loss, it stings as bad as anyone I've ever had. Actually, the worst I've ever had on a stinging momentum, right? And to be able to come back here and get some real cool redemption, right? I want to watch Arthur Blank, work done. Some of these guys hold up that trophy.
Do you think you have
Let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
You're going to ask a question before I get finished.
It was a pause. That was a dramatic pause.
I'm trying to give you these real
here we go.
dramatic pauses.
Yes.
And you just
He's
don't
about to
want
lay
buy
the
in.
smackdown on somebody.
But that moment for us and our fans, and it's just not that moment. We were a part of it. We were, all of us. We added some pieces. We got different players. We got new leadership. We got different things in place that's going to help us rewrite that history. And I'm going to be right in it with the fans, and they're going to be right in it with us, right? That support that I'm going to show those guys and the support that they're going to show us, we will change that narrative because we can. Go ahead now.
No, that's it. Do you think the pieces, do you see enough pieces here that process looks like it could be on its way? And is there a mindset of how long it would take?
You know what the cool part about that is you go through this process and you talk about all these other jobs, right? And you go home, and every time you think about interviewing for a different spot, you think about how you would create, how you would form, how you would collaborate with the people that are there, what you want to do. And this one, you set home and you're just thinking, man, I hope Terry calls me today. Come on, Terry, just pick up the phone and make the call.
I will say this: he won some cool points with me when he said he want to get some redemption from that Super Bowl.
Oh yes.
I could have had better question than that, man. Come on.
It's like this. It's like what a softball question to ask. Ooh, what did you think about that game?
About a job.
I ain't even cut y'all off. But my thing is, why would you bring that up if the man learned from his mistakes? Nobody is not perfect. We all humans. We make mistakes. The man that's not his fault. It's really Kyle Shanahan's fault that we lost our Super Bowl, really, and Dan Quinn. So Dan Quinn is not here. Please don't ask Raheem Morris that because he was with the old coach that doesn't mean that was his fault. So everybody get the
Well,
blame, not Raheem Morris.
but Will, I got to go here. What's good about what he said though was it ticked him off. So he's watching the clown show, and in his head, he's probably going, "Run the dang ball." Let's finish this. And that's what I like that he took that personal and also said, "I want redemption. I want to be in it with the fans." That's where it's almost like this. The man asks a dumb question, but also remember that man's from Boston and he does love the Patriots, even though he says he doesn't. But he also loves the Saints. But anyway, but you know, he was able to answer it and just flip it. And he's about to flip another one with Zeno too.
All right, before we go to that, y'all, Deshaun got a question that he wants the panel to answer. He says, "Who do you think Raheem will target as our quarterback? Trade for Fields, potentially trade up and draft for a quarterback, or sign a free agent quarterback?"
I say trade up for a quarterback. I think he going. It's out of if Chicago keep Justin Fields, they can swap with us and they could get 8. Because I could see them drafting a wide receiver. I just don't really see them getting a quarterback. I just like I said, and then Justin Fields got 10.4 million on the salary cap. I read that, so I don't think a lot of teams going to want Justin Fields. Not even Las Vegas Raiders, because I think they want their own quarterback. So just trade up or trying to get you a veteran. If it is, I'm going Russell Wilson. No offense to Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I think they trade up, man. I'm sorry. I think they trade for Justin Fields. And I've said in the earlier video today, you add a quarterback to what we already have. I'm going right back up the board, go get Marvin Harris. I'm telling you.
You go for the Superman punch.
Hey, we scored 19 points a game last year. You add a quarterback with a dynamic arm, a guy that ran for 1,000 yards, who can get outside the pocket and make all the throws on the field. With all those weapons, I'm taking that all day because the defense is already set. You add a safety and a cornerback and maybe an edge rusher, defense is set. So you just swing for the they're going to have 25 million plus. If they cut other players, I think it's 4 players, they can get another 20 million. So
yeah. I think we start McGregory salary that Drew Dahman probably not walk, but you gotta replace him the center spot and let go Richie Grant and get you a slot corner because we do need a big body DB.
All right, let me ask you this, William. Why would you want to replace Drew Dahman?
Because Drew Dahman is more as a guard. They use him when he was in. I watched Drew Dahman in college. He's more as a guard. He's not really a true center. And center, you have to demand to see what defense giving you because you got sometimes the linebackers when come in the gap. That's more important. You have to communicate, and we didn't have that since we had Alex Mack. So, don't get me wrong, Drew Dahman he could hold his own, but pass protection he get bullied. He get bullied by painting them and low snaps. That killing us. We need a center who control the line of scrimmage and communicate what defense gonna give us and see what is they're gonna send like another like a corner like in our blind spot. So that's the most important. The center is the most important position than the quarterback. So you got to know what defense give you.
All right, Tidy. I know you talked about it yesterday about the offensive line, about what Arthur Smith did. And this is where I want to go back to the Ledford, keeping him on. And also, here's what I will say. I'm not, it's like this. Before I would care less what happened to McGarity, but then I watched this show last week or yesterday about how you were talking about McGarity and also Dahlman. My thing is this. I would bring in competition and I would want to see, basically let the best man win. Either it be a vet, either it be another rookie, whatever. Now, I got to go here. Smitty done threw a monkey wrench in what I was going to say because I didn't think about Harrison now because I kept thinking that man was going to be gone by the time we even talk about drafting. But anyway, first of all, when I think of the quarterback, I'm on the Fields camp, but then again, I don't have no problem with a quarterback to get drafted. Like if you want it, if you got a guy that you want, go get that guy because we need that franchise. And not only that, it is going to be that. What was that? All right, that would be the quarterback that the control that you can have under the contract for however long it is, 5 years, I think.
Yeah, the 4 year rookie contract. It'd be more cheaper for getting us a rookie instead of getting the veteran because the veteran will want the want more money, and we don't have that much money in cap space. We have probably have 50 million if we cut certain players.
Yeah, and that's what I'm just saying. It's like if we could get our quarterback, let's get him. But if not, I don't have a problem with getting Fields. I really don't. And you could keep your pick, like Smitty said. And if you really want to, man, ooh, God, that'd be dangerous. That would be almost like the Julio trade, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because when you get Justin Fields, they're gonna have to get some capital. So I just don't think. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Justin Fields. He's a good quarterback. He's progressing, but I just don't think Atlanta could afford that
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this though, William. Say we do trade up for Marvin Harrison. Yeah, we got to give him another first round pick for next year. But you got a generational wide receiver, and I use that word loosely. I don't never use it.
No, you don't.
That's like a Megatron. And you have a chance to get him and your quarterback. You may lose your picks for the first 2 to 3 rounds, but that is a combination you probably gonna have for the next 5 to 10 years. So I would take that all day because no quarterback in this draft is guaranteed to pan out. They haven't hit the field yet, so we don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
You know what you get out of Justin Fields. You know what you're gonna get out of Marvin Harrison in this offense. So I just said swing for the fences and just roll with it.
And also, let's remember, Terry has actually signed some good contracts. It's, like the McGarity contract. A lot of us didn't expect him to get that money. Or not. He didn't really sign him to a high volume contract. So it's like, and I know it's a quarterback and things are different, but we see, if everyone's talking about how Justin Fields had that one good year, well, you have 2 years to decide. Do you want to keep him or what? So, yeah, I kind of like it.
And read this comment because Wallace Smith said, and it's always going to depend on what quarterback wants to fit the scheme. And that's the key because with Zach Robinson, we use, I told you, 1 running back, 1 tight end, and 3 wide receivers. I think it's 2 wide receivers, 3 wide receivers set. So it's going to be more like a pass concept. So Justin Fields, I know he did good in the snow, but we got to see how he can read them defense, though. That's the kind he kind of messed up, though, holding the ball too long, too. Like the same thing Lamar Jackson was doing. So he need to do more better to read his progression and stop second guessing.
Yeah, I'm actually like. I'm sorry, Smitty. I'm actually liking Drake May. You were talking about him a lot, Smitty, and I'm actually warming up to him on your video you did.
Everybody in Atlanta thinks we need a scrambling quarterback. We need a quarterback that can get the ball in the damn end zone. That's just point blank period.
Pocket pass. I don't want no quarterback who will do it all because you got the 2 head running games. You got Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson. So it makes sense.
Like I said about pocket passing quarterbacks, it's nothing against scramblers. It's nothing against elusive quarterbacks. But a pocket passer is going to use this more than anything.
Yep.
So he's going to see the whole field, not just where he feel like he got to throw the football. And there's no slight to nobody, but to me, a pocket passer is going to always win because as a fundamentally sound football player, that's what you learn first as a quarterback. Put it in the pocket. So,
great point. All right, so we'll keep going.
Somebody go in there and talk to Arthur and let's get this thing done, right? And you do it because of the things that everybody here was a part of, right? Terry's done a great job along with the people and the help around this building in order to form the team and put them in position to go out there and win, right? It's a big old elephant in the back of the room and who's going to be the trigger man, who's going to do those things. And let's go collaborate together. Let's go figure out those things. let's go put ourselves in the best position to go win football games. And I got a lot of confidence in the people in this room that we can.
Mark Zeno on your left.
Raheem Morris, 90% of the game. This is for you and Terry as well. Kind of dovetailing that, taking this job right now with an owner who has clearly expressed his desire to win now with a roster that looks like it's ready to win now. I know you're in year one and there usually is some grace period, but Terry also in year 4. How much pressure do you feel at this moment to get this team to the playoffs and win now in your first year for both of you?
If you can give me an opportunity, let me know which owner doesn't give you pressure to win now. I'd like to field that question back to you. But I
don't hang on many NFL owners.
This is what we do. And you got your Scully on, you're really intimidating. But this job,
you don't scare me.
Comes with pressure. And it comes with pressure that we're all built for. And you got to embrace that. You got to embrace those moments. You got to want those moments. We got to live for those moments. And I don't know about Terry, but I can't wait to go out here and try to win with this man.
Yeah, it's exciting, and it's like any other. Obviously, all owners are passionate, but man, I think we have the most passionate owner. He wants to win in the worst way. He's no different than that passionate fan in the front. That's who he is. And you get calls at all hours of the night, and him just talking about little things because that's all he thinks about is winning and wanting to do everything he can do to win.
Man, they were talking about Big Low.
Anything, literally anything to help us win. And sometimes it's people like Greg that have to make it happen, that have to do it. But look, you go to our facility right now and look at what's going on there. It's exciting looking at what our locker room is going to be, what our weight room is going to be, looking at what things, there's a lot of exciting things going on. So we appreciate that about Arthur Blank, how passionate he is. And we know he'll provide us with whatever we need.
Hey, real quick pause. I'm going to follow Terry's lead and give a shout out to Arthur Blank. Because if y'all recall, about a year and a half ago, they released the grades for the NFL facilities, and the Falcons had like a C- or a C+. And I remember Blank came out. He said he's very disappointed in this. And less than 2 years later, he's revamping the entire Flowery Branch headquarters. And so I give him his props on that. I know sometimes we give him a lot of criticism. But I give him his props on that too.
Yeah, we went. They were building on. We went to training camp last year, so I mean it's gonna be nice.
Yeah,
I mean, he puts his money where his mouth is about the team. So
yeah,
he definitely does. He definitely does.
But like I said, man, I think this year the Falcons will be a hungry team, man. I just feel like Raheem Morris gonna get these guys prepared and all that. You can tell how his demeanor is in the press conference. He got everybody's attention. I just feel like the Falcons ain't gonna let the media try them and like the outside noise bother them. They're gonna play hard nosed like football. And I think we probably want to play Detroit Lions if they come to our house. I want us the Falcons to have their home field advantage.
Man, can we get 4 wins? 4 more wins?
Man, listen,
that's what I'm saying. If we could get 4 more, that would be awesome.
I think we could be 12-4. Because I look at our record, I could say we probably lose to Kansas Chiefs, the Raiders. Who else? Who else we played hard this year? I think.
But that's one thing I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, exactly.
We ain't gonna win this game. We got a team that can compete with anybody.
You right.
This is exactly how I see it. You go out and get that veteran quarterback, and then you go get a Marvin Harrison or Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
And you just forget about the rest.
Because
who gonna stop that?
I mean, we just like I said. Give me a ball, yeah. No, I was agreeing with you. I was saying, hey, just give me a ball. Let's play football. Let's see where it goes, because that's really what we got to do.
Yeah. And we know offense, they say defense win championship, but offense got to get you there.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real.
You work on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
I like this comment too. Morris says that alpha leads with tendencies, but the urgencies and the decisiveness.
He didn't blink with Zeno's question, which was great.
Yeah.
Trying to intimidate me with your skull.
Typical Zeno.
Need to win.
The one thing I can add with that too is and I know I've been talking too much, guys, but this is my press conference. But the one thing I can add with that is it does come with pressure. no doubt about it. But like when you know you are fully supported by the owner the way we are, that makes it special too. You know, like we all got pressure. You know, that's a part of what we do. That's a part of life. But the support that he shows, the direct communication, all of those things that you know you can have with them is really important to how we move. And I think that's important.
How many conversations have you guys had about the quarterback position, and what is that going to look like going forward?
Here we go.
You know what's cool about that is we've had very limited conversations about it right now. And the reason being, we got to formulate a great staff. We've collaborated more on building this staff, and we're almost done. Right? We got a lot of people in place, and we want to get people there. And we've had some conversations in brief passing, and we have some ways that we know we can go about getting it. Obviously, free agency, obviously trade, obviously the draft. And those communication to me just landing the other day are going to continue to happen. I'm so tired of looking at this man on Zoom that I'm so happy to be here so we can do these things. And he's a lot better looking in person than he's on Zoom. and I'm so excited to be here with him and his family.
Wow.
And to move forward and to grow our family.
There's a lot of bro love here.
It's going to be a
Bromance.
process of going out there finding out what we can do and how we can do it.
Wow.
Right next to him, Brandon, home team league.
Just wait till you meet Big Low. You're really gonna be in love, Rob. You're gonna be looking at a mirror.
So what do y'all think about the quarterback conversation that they just mentioned there? And before we go there, let's acknowledge the super chat that came in from Jay Coop in the building. Says the Bears keep adjusting, you sign Russell Wilson to a vet minimum, trade up for Marvin Harrison Jr., let Pitts ball out this year, trade him up for a top 10 pick next year, and draft Shador Sanders. Let him sit behind Russ for 2 years. And also salute. Appreciate that, Jay. I'm sure Smith appreciate that also. Big $20 super chat. Smith, I'm going to let you handle that statement, brother.
Yeah, man. I agree, man. I actually put out a short on this a little while ago. I actually agree with Russell Wilson. A lot of people, they mad about it. But I know he's getting up in age, but he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Come on. I mean, he didn't have the right weapons in Denver because they traded all their weapons away to get him. So they had to retool their whole offense. The offensive line sucked. So as I look at it, man, I would bring in Russell Wilson, still move up the board and draft one of the top quarterbacks and let him sit for a year up under Russell Wilson. Because I think that would be best. We see it with Jordan Love. He finally get his chance this year, 32 touchdown passes, 4,000 yards. So it's all about how you adjust to the game and how you transition to the next level. I think that was the right move for Jordan Love, and Green Bay knew that. So I'm gonna do the same with Russell Wilson, man, to be honest. But I'm telling y'all, if they miss out on the quarterback this year, it's gonna hurt us for the next 5 years. They have to nail it. They have to nail it. And I don't know about Shador Sanders next year, because I'm gonna be looking for that quarterback this year. So,
But Smitty,
sorry,
I got
on
a
that,
quick
Jay Coop.
before y'all click it, Smitty. What you think about Penix, man? I understand that he got a lot of injuries, but to me, I see his highlights, man. The dude got an arm. Only thing he got to work on is reading defense, man. I feel like if we could take a chance on him, even if a lot of teams saying he's not a first round pick, but we got to give him a chance, man, because he got the weapons. He won't have to run outside the pocket.
I think Michael Penix, to be honest, he's a better quarterback for a spread offense.
Okay.
There's a lot of, our formation with running teams. He needs to find a team that runs a spread formation or a West Coast offense, sort of like what Kyle Shanahan runs in San Francisco. If he can find a team like that can utilize his talent, because he has a great arm, he's very accurate. He is inconsistent, but with teaching and coaching at the next level, he can fix all that. And I know people talk about those 2-3 knee injuries, but I tell people all the time, Frank Gore played 17 years after tearing his ACL 2 times in both knees. So it's all in how you prepare, all in how you transition to the next level. And I think with the right coaching staff, Michael Penix will be just fine. And he may slip to the second round, and that might be a blessing for him because he won't have any pressure on him.
I was going to say about Penix, if he just, everyone wants to talk about that national championship game where he looked bad, but honestly, if Texas would have came back and won, we're talking about Michael Penix as like C.J. Stroud from last year because he had that great game. They lit up Texas, and people would talk about that. It's that last taste in your mouth that you saw. And I think Penix, like Smitty was saying, if he falls to the second, I think he'll be a big time player. And what you could do is truly then go for, let's say, at that point, maybe the Falcons decide to draft the pass rusher at 8, take the risk, you go down, and then, hey, there's Penix in the second round. Go get him. And then if you go get Wilson, because now everyone has been saying all these things, but Smitty, do you know? So Wilson has to be released by what date?
I think around March.
Before the new league year starts on March, I think it's 13th.
Okay. Okay. I thought for some reason it was June. That's why I didn't know.
March.
Okay, March. Okay. So if it's March, so we'll find out soon enough if the Broncos do this. Okay. So if they let him go, I'm with you guys. Go sign him. And I wouldn't be too upset because I thought Sean Payton kind of did Russ dirty with the whole, at the end of the season, because Russ's numbers were not that bad.
Yeah,
They were actually better than Pat Mahomes at one point.
And I'll say this, Dub, I don't really see a way that they can go back to Russell Wilson based on how they did him. It just seems like that marriage is over to me.
Yeah. I mean, guys, who would you want to play for Sean Payton after they gave you that ultimatum? I mean, you have to be a very nice guy of all nice guys, but I wouldn't be doing that crap. I couldn't. No, Shouty. Let me get some lemon pepper wings. I'll take Sierra to Magic City. Let's go have fun. I don't care.
Well, Sierra loved Waffle House. That's what she went for her birthday.
Yeet.
So we'll keep going.
Coach, welcome back to Atlanta. Home team, Brandon Leet from Sports Radio 680 The Fan. Welcome back home. Question for you. Follow up on that question. The attributes. You've been a Super Bowl champion. What are the attributes of a Super Bowl caliber quarterback? You've seen Matt Ryan. You've seen Matthew Stafford. What are those attributes as you guys search for the right quarterback to get it right? And for Terry, last time we assembled, we were told that in the last power structure, you reported to Rich McKay and the coach reported to Rich McKay. Now the power structure has changed a little bit where you and Coach Morris report to Arthur Blank. How is that different for the organization moving forward?
Yeah. You go first.
It doesn't matter. I'm tired of talking, so you can go.
I'm going first. Okay. Yeah, great question. And so initially the way the process was is I was partners with the head coach, reported to Rich McKay, and then ultimately Arthur Blank. And you had a
he don't want to say his name,
right? No experience as a GM, and you had a brand new head coach, no experience as a head coach. So that's natural. That said, the decision making was always ours. We kept leadership informed, and yet the decision making was always ours. And I appreciate having really smart, experienced people around.
Sure.
That's really important. We talk about Arthur Blank. We have a lot of conversations. Sometimes it's not about football, where we could be talking about a football decision, and he relates it to business and some experiences that he had. That's very valuable. I like having people like that around. Rich McKay, he's drafted Hall of Fame players. He's hired Hall of Fame head coaches. Tony Dungy told me the story about when he went through that process with him and how a lot of other people would have never hired him, but the way Rich took his time to get to know him, hearing those stories are really valuable. You love having that kind of experience around you and the willingness to share those stories, not only the ones that were successful, the ones that weren't. And Rich changes his stories up.
Jamal
sometimes,
Anderson.
not always the same, but it's real valuable having that experience around. I appreciate that. And even though he's going to be in some other areas, you appreciate having that around. Look, my dad lost my dad last year. My dad never worked in a front office. He never sat in the GM seat, but I appreciated all those conversations with him because there's life experience. So having experienced people around you that you can lean on and communicate with is really important.
Petrino.
So you value that. Again, that said, the decision-making was always myself and Arthur Smith at the time. moving forward, the decision making is myself and Raheem. We keep everyone informed, and that's important. I'm excited about moving forward with Greg Beatles. You know, in the first 2 years, Greg was obviously in a different role. And so I didn't have a lot of direct dealings with Greg, and yet you respected him from afar. And then this last year, once he became president, there's a lot of direct dealings with him, and it's been outstanding. Greg's obviously really smart. He's an excellent communicator. He's very direct and honest. And the way Greg went from being an intern and became the president, that's a pretty cool story. And so he knows every part of the building, and he's helped me a lot learn about the business part and some of the nuances that I don't understand in the other areas of the business. So it's been great working with Greg. He's the type of person that whatever we need, he's going to figure out a way to get it done. That's who.
Okay, y'all, I want to say this because there's been a lot of talk about Rich McKay. Terry Fontenot just came out and he said, okay, I was a new GM. We had a new head coach. In essence, he just said we both were very green. So I really appreciated having Rich McKay around as a mentor, as an advisor. And he also kind of relayed the same type of conversation or perspective in regards to his talk about Greg Beatles. So I really would like you guys to speak on what Terry Fontenot just said as far as the power structure goes. Because I know as fans, you know, and I'm definitely included, we have heavily criticized his power structure. But it seems like Terry Fontenot is saying, hey, I appreciated it, but now the training wheels are kind of off, and I'm going to drive the car a little bit more. So what's y'all's opinions and thoughts on what Fontenot is saying here?
Yeah, I get that part, and I totally agree, and it makes me look at it a little bit different.
Me too.
But at the same time, if you teaching somebody to do something, you still got to let them make decisions and make mistakes so they'll know not to do it again. So in that aspect, I think he still should have had a bigger voice, and I know he didn't. Because like I said, he probably a couple of those picks that we made the last 3 years, probably would have went another way. But, you know, that's the past. He moving on, training wheels off. So now it's all on him. And that just point blank.
Well, I may not be the number one hater of Rich McKay because that belongs to Red, but I just have to give him a shout out for that because he lived and died with that one. But no, for real, I think this is why, you know, this is where we fans don't really get the behind the scenes stuff because we don't know how the arrangement was set up in the first place. And then you find out about this whole leadership, and we're like, hey, you know, Thomas Dimitrov, he was always there. Why not Terry? You know, so, but I do also appreciate Terry saying, look, Rich McKay was there. We needed him. You know, he was vital. And, you know, look, it is the structure. That's the way it is. And not only that, you did get hired to this team. So we may not know what all the details were, but that doesn't mean he didn't. That didn't mean that Terry didn't know, oh, well, this is what's going on. Okay, I'll work with this. And, you know, probably was like, hey, is there going to be a point where I could take the lead? And I think last year we got to see him with the free agency and how he shined with it. This year, I really got to say, I mean, I'm really excited because, you know, like you just said, Smitty, this is now his.
Yep.
All right, and I want to read out this comment from Wallace. I want you to actually respond to this, Smitty. Then I'm gonna pass it to you, William, once Smitty responds. This is from our guy, Smitty Wallace Smith. He says, Tidy, this is what I've been saying, that McKay was not the issue because Terry did say that they still made the decision, which Terry did say they made the decision, him and Arthur Smith, for getting the players that they wanted. Smitty, what's your response?
I buy it up to a certain degree, but I still got to put blame on McKay too, because if all three of y'all making a decision, but he gets to finally say something, because he got a right to veto it too, right? So if y'all picking the players and he has to trust in y'all, I get that, but he's got to have, you know, fault in it too. You just can't blame the GM and the coach when he just said he was kind of green thumb. So y'all knew that. So that's why I said you should have gave him a bigger role in hiring the coach the last time. That way, this time he would have a better understanding, which I think he still does. But I just think it just would have went totally different. That's just gonna always be my opinion.
Yeah, I'm agree with Smitty Smith, man. I'm just glad that Rich McKay kind of really stepped away from the football operation with the soccer because I feel like Terry Fontenot feel relief. He lived and he learned from his mistakes from 3 years ago, not going with a quarterback instead of going with Kyle Pitts. But that was Arthur Smith, so it wasn't Terry Fontenot who made the pick. Like, hey, let's get Kyle Pitts. I mean, but I think he did agree with Arthur Smith. But you live and you learn, man. I just think this time he will be aggressive and trying to get that guy.
All right, and I want to ask y'all this because I see in the chat that there is people are saying we should or should not trade for Justin Fields. So I'm gonna go around the panel. What's your opinion? Do y'all think Justin Fields would be a good fit for this, not Arthur Smith's teams, but Zach Robinson's offense? What are y'all thoughts?
I'm gonna say it's a no for me because I don't think Justin Field never did never played an offense coordinator. I mean, not to say never played, but he never played a West Coast system. And it's kind of be hard for him how to kind of relate because when you look at Matthew Stafford didn't ran out the pocket, but he probably ran out a couple of seats to see if his tight end is wide receiver getting open, but he's not going to scramble and trying to run. What Matthew Stafford do kind of run for extra drive to nobody open, but I don't know. It's kind of hard for me, so I guess he would Justin Fields could fit the scheme, but I don't really want Justin Fields to be running the ball like that. Just take the shots if you see the players open.
Yeah, but I would still say yeah because if you got a good offensive coordinator, he can work with anybody. He can he can help them adjust to a new system that better suits them as a pocket passer. That he won't have to use his legs as much because trust me, when he ran for that 1,000 yards last year, that took some miles off his body. Trust me, he had to take hits. So as I look at it, I would definitely trade for Justin Fields. If we can get him for a second this year and a third next year, I'm still moving up the board to go get that number one quarterback because if you can get first, third this year, first, second next year, and maybe a second or third the following year, you'll still get one of those top 3 picks. So I'm still going for that top quarterback, even if I do trade for Justin Fields, because he only has a 2-year window. If he doesn't work out, guess what? You pass the reins over to the superstar quarterback you drafted. So I'm all for it. But I also said Justin Fields, if they can get a veteran in here, I'm looking at Marvin Harrison. I'm still gonna do that. But I would definitely trade for Justin Fields, especially if he's not worth the first round pick.
All right. So here's what I'm going to say. I am hoping if Raheem is telling us everything we're hearing, I am hoping that Zach Robinson can be adaptable, can work with whatever quarterback, like Smitty just said, because before I've always heard, well, this guy works better in this system. This guy works better. Eventually when you have talent, you work with it. And when I saw the Rams, I was impressed with the fact, even though I like looking at that team that was losing because there were times they had games that you're going, they should get beat, but they played. And on the offensive side, I'm going, how did they get Baker Mayfield to look that good? How did they get this guy to play well? How did they, and that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes, like, I get it. Maybe they want the pocket passer that can, be a surgeon, throw the ball to different zones and everything. But you got what you got. You might as well use what you have, try to coach them up, try to build them up, try to get the best out of them and put them in positions where they succeed. And I think that's where I lean to. And I say yes for Fields because he's got that talent. And I'm sorry, I still go back to the fact that we should have drafted him and not Pitts. Because if you had him learning under Matt, who's to say Fields would be better? Go ahead, Smitty. I'm sorry.
Let me say this right quick, because Mark in the comments, he's making a great point about having to pay Fields. if you trade for him, you would have to pay him because he's only on $6 million this year, and his fifth year option was declined. So
Okay.
they definitely have to pay. So if you're willing to pay him $200 million for what, 4 years, 5 years? I say 5 years, 200 million. That's 40 million a year. I would be okay with that. I would be
Wow.
okay with it,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you put the right weapons around him. Like I say, he's still only 25 years old. Think about it.
That's true too. Can't really
Mark,
argue that logic.
So, Mark, I get what you're saying, man, but he's still 25. I don't think he gets over 4. I don't think he go past Daniel Jones by that much.
But yeah, to answer the first question, I think I would go Fields, Tidy. If we couldn't get the quarterback to draft.
Okay, real quick break from the press conference, and let's hear from our former quarterback Matt Ryan and what he thinks about Raheem Morris and some other things. So we're gonna hear from the Iceman real quick, y'all.
Okay.
Because you played for him as he was the interim head coach. You're going to bring it.
Well, listen, I've seen him in all kinds of different capacities. When he came to Atlanta, he started on the defensive side of the ball with the secondary. We had some issues on the offensive side of the ball. He comes over and coaches the wide receiver group. He then gets asked mid-season to go back and call the plays on the defensive side of the ball, and then as an interim head coach in his last season with us. So I spent 6 years around Raheem and have seen those different lights, and then also competed against him early in my career when he was in Tampa as a head coach. And I think he's a guy that, number one, connects with his players, and guys are going to love playing for him. He's got the ability to make it known that he cares about his guys, but at the same time can hold them accountable. And really, that's the key, right? Showing love and then being able to push them. I think he'll do that really well. The thing I'm most excited about for Raheem Morris, though, is the staff he's starting to put together.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what, I think often gets overlooked, right, is let's hire this head coach and he's going to be great and do this. Well, who's going to work with him and who's actually going to call the plays on both sides of the ball? I think he's putting together a nice staff. It's a mix of kind of experience and youth and energy. I'm excited. I'm biased, right? I played for this organization for a long time. Would like to see them get back to winning some football games. And I think most importantly, he's got to stabilize the quarterback position. It really was the thing that held the Falcons back this last year. And I think if he can do that, whether it's, bringing in a young player from somewhere else, like a Justin Fields or something like that, or moving up in the draft and trying to get one of these talented guys that we've seen in college football, I think they have to do something at that spot. I look for them to be aggressive this offseason.
So Matt says we got to stabilize quarterback position. He name dropped Justin Fields. If that doesn't work, Matt Ryan says, hey, we need to move up in the draft. We got to be aggressive either way it goes. Y'all agree or disagree with the Iceman?
I just said that.
Yeah,
and one thing I think Justin Fields is that if he don't come to Atlanta, he going to Las Vegas Raiders or Minnesota. So you got 3 teams right trying to get Justin Fields. So
right.
I got to go here, man. The Iceman saith, I'll roll with it. I like what he said. I mean, you're looking at go for the big 3 or go for Fields. But my thing is this: he's right. What's our coaching staff going to look like? And I think Raheem he quickly attacked that coaching staff in a matter of 9 days, where they got guys, they interviewed, they locked them in, they already got their positions. I'm pretty impressed with what they've done.
And the way the trades work nowadays, and I look at them more and more, just like the Calvin Ridley trade, you can get him a 3rd round and turn it into a 2nd round, a conditional 2nd round, a conditional 3rd round that could be a 2nd rounder. If you can do that this year and next year, I'm going for that all day long, twice on Sunday.
Hello.
Down. So
I mean, that's what we did with Ridley.
Yeah, and you see that look like that is about to pay off because I think he resigns there.
I pray so, because he's talking about giving Trevor Lawrence on to resign a quarterback. So let's hope Jacksonville resign.
All right, y'all. We got a question from Ray 50. He said, fellas, would you like to trade for the Lions backup Hendon Hooker going into his second season?
No. Mm-mm.
No, I mean, what was his injury? I know he was hurt, but I didn't know what was
ACL.
up about the.
He
Oh, I
he
mean,
got drafted. He got drafted last year with I think he got drafted like in the fourth or
yeah,
fifth
because he
round.
tore. Okay, yeah,
He got
all
hurt.
right,
I guess he got pushed him back, and I guess he came from that. He came from Tennessee. He played college football in Tennessee.
here's
I
the
don't
thing.
know.
I don't. If I'm the Lions, I wouldn't let him go because let him learn under golf, and then
You just lost Bridgewater, so
yeah, yeah. So that's what I would do. I would still keep him. So
All right, y'all. Let me get this super chat right here from Jay Coop showing so much love. Appreciate it, Jay Coop, and I know Smith appreciates it as well. Smith, I'm gonna let you address the statement from Jay Coop. Justin Fields,
hey
B.
man,
John
before I
Robinson,
start, man, I
Drake
think
London, Marvin Harrison, Kyle Pitts. How do you stop that? I'm gonna wait as I drop the mic.
wow. JQ, man, I appreciate it, man, as always. But I got to go buy me a new belt, and I'll be back and answer that. But I'm just playing. But yeah, man, that's what I'm saying, man. You put firepower like that on the field, all you need is the right quarterback and the right offensive mind to control that. If you can do that, you putting up 30 points a game every Sunday.
real quick,
27 at the
also,
least.
yeah. Also, compare the Bears' offensive line with the Falcons' offensive line. I mean, that's also a weapon.
And you said Dwayne Letford coming back.
Yeah.
Keep that offensive line intact. So, but Jay Coop, man, I appreciate the donation, my brother.
Shout out Jay Coop. And
Shout out.
got a question from Mark for the panel. He says, y'all don't like Michael Penix Jr. And that's a question.
I don't have a problem with him. I don't.
We don't have a problem with him. We just say about him. We don't want him to take that risk. I mean, his knee injury was a factor that probably trying to drop him off in the draft. But I feel like he'll be NFL ready once he's a wide open team like Steve Smith said, a West Coast team passing.
Look at number 8. No, I don't want him. But if I can get him, put him on that bench just to learn, I wouldn't mind that.
And remember this as well. We do have 2 second-round picks possibly. So at the bottom of the bottom of the first round, they could go back into the first round and possibly get him.
Yeah.
And we will know if they pass on the quarterback, if they don't move up the board, or they pass on the quarterback at number 8, that's going to be their target.
Yep. All right. So let's see what Terry got to say.
Who he is. If it can help us win, he's going to figure out a way. So again, working with Raheem over these previous 10 days, it's been really collaborative and fun. And obviously Greg, we haven't seen, I've seen more of these guys than I've seen my wife. And that's why she's here today, because I haven't seen her in a while, but I've spent more time with them. So I'm very excited about our setup moving forward.
The new Men in Black.
Sure. And it just answers the question about the quarterback. We got a real good vision, right? And obviously it'd be a shared vision between myself, Terry, and our coaching staff and a lot of the scouting staff and the people that were involved in that whole process. But we got a real clear understanding of what it looks like in Atlanta. We see that at a very high level, right? And what was Matt Ryan? You talk about just the people that you
didn't mention Ritter.
Just come from real clear what it looks like quarterback when you're talking about Matthew Stafford. But when you get those guys that are elite processors, when you get those guys that are decision makers, when you get those guys that can just cut it loose and play ball, and also play with those great fundamental techniques that we talk about, the base, the balance, the short hitches in the pocket, some of those things, it makes you excited, right? To go out there and find those things, right? Sometimes not easy to see, right? Obviously, you got to look at some college tape. Sometimes you can see a little bit more in free agency tape. Sometimes you can visualize that thing, how you can trade, right? But you got all those windows out there. You got all those avenues. But
you just described.
I got a lot of confidence in the people that are going to be able to help me be a part of finding our next quarterback to move forward.
Very back right, Michael Cunningham.
Question for Terry. Arthur has talked about the importance of the collaboration between the coach and the GM when it comes to building the roster. What did you see from Raheem in his interviews that let you know this is a guy who I can be on the same page when it comes to that kind of stuff?
Yeah, thanks, Michael. And I didn't know Raheem before we got on the Zoom. I didn't know him personally, but I had been hearing a lot of really positive things about him. And even when he was a head coach in Tampa, I told him some few things about his press conferences because I used to listen to him. And so I've known about him or of him for a long time. And the way people talk about him is that part of it. He's a really good teammate. He's a really good person. And when you think of the personal part of it, all those things, you get into his football acumen, it's really impressive. But so I was really excited going into the first Zoom. And after the first Zoom, when you go through it and you really see the way he speaks and the way he communicates, I felt like we've known each other forever. And we kept going through the process and we take our time. And then we obviously had the next interview. But all the research that you do on him, all the people, whether it's current players, former players, staff members that he's worked with. And another part, somebody asked about the coaching staff. A lot of guys on our coaching staff were excited about staying because of Raheem, and they had opportunities. We have coaches that had contracts on the table with other teams, and they held off because they wanted to see if they were going to have an opportunity here. And obviously really honest with him. And hey, the next head coach is going to meet with you. And Raheem went through that process and did that. And guys were really excited about being here. They turned down other opportunities to come back, and he was willing to listen to our opinions and then spend time with them. So I knew prior to from doing the research and obviously all the time we spent with him thus far, it's been exciting.
All right, I'll just say this, and this is kind of regurgitate what I said earlier. It's just refreshing and it's new not to hear Arthur Blank and Rich McKay answering these questions and to let the quote unquote decision makers answer these questions, which is Fontenot and now Raheem Morris. But beyond that, they're now talking about quarterbacks, and we have not heard Desmond Ritter's name mentioned once. Panel, what are y'all thoughts?
Oh boy, I got to say this before I get it off my mind. Arthur Blank and Rich McKay remind me of Mr. Burns and Smithers on the Simpsons. But I agree with what you said about the way they're already thinking alike. You can see that they've already been talking. They've already been going over how they want to build this team, what type of quarterback he's looking for. He just described Drake May in a nutshell. Mm-hmm. They're already working to get the type of quarterback that they want. So if Drake May is not coming here, I definitely see Kirk Cousins coming. So I just already.
All right. So if you're saying, Mr. Burns and Smithers, I'm going to say, watch out, Atlanta. We got bad boys right here. We got Will Smith and Martin Lawrence over here being interviewed. I got to tell you, I like how they're coming off, but also, so when you heard elite processors, they said Matt Ryan, they said Matt Stafford. I swore. I must have snoozed. I did not hear Ritter either. I didn't hear the Desmians out there. So I think Uncle Steve said it best when he said, Raheem does not love Desmond. So I gotta tell y'all, you gotta listen to Uncle Steve's Lounge, man. Him and his Sounders. But yeah, I gotta go here, man. You're right. They definitely they described white chocolate over there in North Carolina. They saw they must have saw some Mays tape because he does fit that bill, and I want to see how we get there. But man, that just tells me they kind of know what they have to do. And see, if you go and do the trade to go get a quarterback and you have to give up a future first, you've got to at least get double-digit wins so that you could be, so the draft pick won't be as hard on you, not having it then. So, hey, go for it, man. If you're gonna go get your guy, go get your guy.
Hey, Smith. And Nashville, Tennessee got the highest cap space this all season. I'm trying to see what team have the highest cap space.
I have to look it up.
I thought it was Washington.
Washington got a good. Chicago got the highest cap space.
Okay, yeah, all right.
They had like $100 million, I think.
Again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we really look? I got to ask this question. Do we really think Chicago's going to trade or give up the first pick, or because I'm sorry, I just I'm thinking of Moore, who's already got a rapport with Fields. Why wouldn't you just go get Marvin Harrison with the
That
first
makes
pick?
sense. I mean, that makes sense because I did hear that Commanders Dan Quinn trying to trade
I
up
could
with
see that. I've actually
Chicago.
talked about that. I could see Marvin Harrison going number one, and the reason why they have DJ Moore, they have Cole Kmet, they're building the offensive line, and just like I just said with what the Falcons have, if you put a quarterback in with what the Falcons have, you're looking at Chicago because you got Marvin Harrison, you got DJ Moore, you got Cole Kmet, and at running back you got Herbert and what's the other kid's name who was running over us?
Well, ooh,
Definitely.
I know. I can't remember because it used to be Montgomery, but he's over in Detroit.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think his name because he was running
They
the
got a
ball.
young, they drafted a running back. I can't think of his name, but you got the
Oh
same point,
God,
which means
yeah.
you just add a Marvin Harrison to Chicago, and with that second pick, you go pick up another offensive lineman to block for his blind side. You got to win, and you probably got a winning team there.
Yeah.
The rest of the draft, they just go defense.
It's actually Washington with the most cap space. They got 73 million.
Okay.
Then
Knew
Tennessee.
it.
Sergeant Slogan's got money.
So okay, it's the Commanders and Tennessee. That's the only two teams with the cap space.
Man, Washington cut everybody though, so that's right. That got to be right.
Yeah, it's Washington, Tennessee, the Texans, Patriots, Colts, Bengals, and Lions. Damn, Lions got 60 million. Woo, Lord.
The Bears, they must have fell down about 30 or 40.
The Bears are right under the Buccaneers. They looks like they're about 10th in cap space.
How many years does Golf have on his deal?
He's supposed to get re-signed. I think he got like 1 year left.
Oh yeah, they're probably going to have to resign Golf.
I'll look it up real quick. See, Jared Goff he is signed through 2024, so he's last year of his deal right now.
Ooh.
They will have to resign him because they said they were going to stay him if they took him to the Super Bowl, but I guess what happened, they failed, so they going to see he going to run it again. But I could say they can win the division, but I think not Chicago. I think Minnesota going to be kind of good this year too if they get a quarterback. But that's what they missing.
Well, you got Green Bay with Love too, so that division is going to be tough.
Yeah, that division.
Minnesota got a lot of holes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, defense side of the ball. Yeah, outside of the corner.
Especially if they have to start over at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, so we'll keep going, y'all.
Charles Odom on your left.
Charles Odom with Associated Press. So welcome back. Good to see you. Yet another quarterback question. You spoke about moving forward to find the right quarterback, and we've talked about the roster as it's currently constructed. As you make the decisions about how to look at quarterback free agency, trade, draft, how important is it to make decisions about is this roster taking the snap and what's your how would you compare that to what you've gone through before with the Rams in Tampa Bay?
First of all, it's good to see you again, but there's never one reason why you win a championship. There's always a bunch of different reasons, right? And the quarterback is always the elephant that sits in the back of the room that everybody can talk about, because usually those are the people that get too much blame sometimes or too much credit at times. Whether you're talking about the head coach, the quarterback, or whatever the case may be. But it's the pieces around it, right? And when you're talking about Terry Fontenot being your general manager, it starts there, right? The collaboration, the shared vision, some of the things that we've been to do in the last 10 days really excites me. Then you talk about the pieces of the team that's been put in place by everybody here just in general, right? And you talk about the relentless ability to improve every single day. And you're talking about every position that we have on the football team. You're talking about role clarity for everybody that we have and how they're going to do and how they're going to go about their business. You want to make sure that we are trying to get better at all times, right? And when you're talking about adding a quarterback, those are some of the factors that take you over the top. Those are the things that give you a chance to win every single game. And the quote that Terry mentioned from my Tampa days, he talked about was, he said he never forgot when I said there's a mentality before it's ever reality. And when he said it, I was like, man, I did say that. That was a cool statement. But it's certainly that. It is definitely a mentality before it's ever reality. Let's go put our people in position to win. Let's go find the people to do it. Let's make sure we get real clear, defined roles on how we want to do it.
That's better. That's better than Sergeant's slogan.
Happen. Go execute it. That's the key.
Charles Ken.
Quarterback
Raheem Ken Segura, the Journal Constitution. Welcome. After Tampa, your record was what it was. Did you have concerns, worries that you would never get another chance, and kind of what was that wait like? Then Terry, as far as you were leading the search, can you describe kind of what that entailed for kind of how your role fit in the process?
Ken, you don't know me very well, but I definitely don't think like that.
Nobody does.
I'm a driven person. And
unless you're Arthur Smith, now. I'm sorry.
I'm willing to fight any obstacle put in front of me. And my thought process was never having the opportunity to do it again. It was more about finding the right opportunity and people to do it with. Because usually that's the most important thing when you're doing any of these type of jobs, like who you're doing it with, right? And I really don't care about any of the other things, right? Circumstances are circumstances. How you go about your business is how you go about your business. But coming here, bringing it full circle, doing it with these people again, Greg Beatles, Rich McKay, Terry, Arthur Blank, Dukes, man, I am excited, right? This was the right opportunity. This is the opportunity. This is our opportunity. And that's how I've always felt that way. Like I'm never going into that state of mind. And I want to allow myself to. And, I got a lot of reasons over to my left why that won't happen. A lot of mentally tough people over there. I don't know if you know my brother-in-law, Michael, but he's pretty mentally tough. And he's the real deal.
Yeah, so it was it was collaborative. Like we said, and Arthur Blank is going to make the ultimate decision as he did, but the entire process was collaborative. When I say lead the search in regards to the interviews, I was leading the interviews, and there were other people, and it was very, very detailed and organized, and the way we asked questions, the way we went through and make sure we got the right answers and made sure we assessed everything. And it was a very detailed, organized process, but I led that process, if that makes sense.
All right, fellas, this is the fourth time that I've heard Fontenot mention he led the search. So, Smitty, do you think he's listening to us on YouTube? Say, hey, guys, like, listen, I'm not a DoorDash driver. I'm not a butler, but I was doing my job.
He listening. He got to be.
Look, those ears are perked up, man. And by the way, he was a phenomenal bird watcher. He taught us well. I was very impressed. But, yeah, I think you notice how sometimes when, anytime anyone from the Falcon brass talks, they always want to, when they want to hit a point, they always say it quite a few times. Terry has mentioned that, like you said, about 4 or 5 times where, look, I led this. Seriously, Tidy, I led this. Tidy. So you know what? Look, okay, we'll say you led it. We kind of feel what we feel because Rock kind of said something too that was kind of contradictory, but yet, you know what? It's collaborative. So Arthur, Rich, and Terry all could have offered him a job, and you're not lying because it's collaborative.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll keep going.
Go Reggie, back right.
I love their shoot game, by the way.
Congratulations, Reggie Chapman, 11 Alive TV here in Atlanta, the NBC station. You knew you'd have to talk about a lot of things in this press conference, but one of the things you mentioned very early is that it wasn't lost on you that you're the first full-time black head coach here for the Atlanta Falcons. Why is that such a big deal for you, and why is that not lost on you? How cool is it also to be sitting alongside Terry as well?
I'll start with the Terry question first. It's really cool to be sitting next to him. I think you find guys in your life and you want to be a part of and you want to work with. And, these last 10 days have been pretty special But it started even especially just throughout the process, right? The Zoom interview that turned into the in-person. And it really turned into this real cool collaboration just in those small moments of time. And I thought that was a really cool spark to build, right? And you mentioned being the first Black coach without the interim tag, like I talked about earlier, but that's not about me. That's about us, all of us, right? That is the progress, that is the movement, that is what we look for. That's been talked about every single process that I've been through. And I believe I told somebody, I can't remember who I told, but I told somebody in this whole process, you know, the coolest part about this process was that it wasn't even brought up about it being a lack of diversity, about it being a lack of Black people having an opportunity to be head coaches, right? I think it was 3 in this cycle. I don't know exactly, but it was never even brought up. And I thought that was a real cool moment, that was less about what we talked about and was more about the right people for the job and the right placement for people in their jobs than that. And that's why I thought it was pretty cool, because it was more about the people before me. It's more about the people after me, you know, and particularly that little one sitting over there, and Jalen, right? It's more about him.
It's right here, right next to him. Kelly Price from Fox 5. Welcome back. I'm curious for you, what do you feel like is the biggest difference?
Okay, let's touch on that, y'all, because this is the second time they brought it up in the press conference. Him being the first Black full-time head coach for the Atlanta Falcons. Like, what's y'all thoughts on that?
Man, it's an accomplishment.
What that
man.
noise?
I just
See,
think
Dub,
it's
I think that she with that background noise.
No, I got everything turned off. I double checked. Is that better?
Yeah, we're good now.
All right.
I was saying, man, I think first it's Black History Month, so salute to the people who fought for us for us to get our rights and everything like that. But for Raheem Morris, it's an accomplishment. The dude deserves it, and I feel like everybody gets second chances. And I just feel like moving forward, I feel like the NFL should be hiring more adversity players, even like Asian people, more Hispanics and Blacks, so we can have a better platform. How the NFL is it's not all about just Caucasian folks. Not trying to say in the mean way, but the NFL still got a lot of work to do, but it's a process. But I like I said, no matter what race, what color you is, as long as you're a good coach and you have the experience.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's all about equality, man. I don't give a damn if you're black, blue, pink, or yellow.
Yeah.
If you can do the job, if you can coach, God damn it, you need to be recommended for it. And at the end of the day, it's all about winning football games. If no matter what race it is, they give you the best chance to win, they need a chance to do it. So it's just a new day and new time, man. All that other stuff in the past just need to stay in the past. And that's all I got to say about it.
Amen.
I mean, amen to that. Boy, I said, best man wins the job, and I'm very glad that Raheem got the job. I felt he deserved it. I felt like he checked all the boxes, and I'm glad to hear, where people go, well, we weren't looking at the race. My thing is this: let's not always qualify. I mean, my thing is this: does he deserve the job? Yes, he's coached offense. Yes, he's coached defense. Yes, he's coached under Shanahan. Yes, he's coached under McVay. He's been a Super Bowl champion. Oh, he's head coach. Guess what? To me, your experience, you're qualified, and I want you as my coach. And that's why. And like I said, when it comes to September, let's get those W's and let's win. Because he said it himself. Show me an owner that's not wanting to win.
Right. And if my math is right and my facts are correct, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we had 8 head coaching vacancies going into this process. 3 was filled by Black coaches. So that's a 37% rate there. So, that's a pretty high percentage. So that
Probably
definitely
high as it's ever been.
Yeah.
Definitely. So that new day, new time. And we're gonna get right back to this interview. We're almost done with it, but since we're on this subject, I want to talk about Eric Bieniemy. He was released from the Commander's job, and there was some chatter I saw on social media about that. I want to know y'all thoughts on Eric Bieniemy just to get off track just a little bit. And I promise y'all we're gonna get right back to the interview.
I'm gonna just keep it simple, man. He just wasn't the guy for Dan Quinn. I mean, you can't put it no other way. I don't care about that race or none of that with that. He just wasn't Dan Quinn guy. But the sad part about it is he should have been considered his coach before Dan Quinn because he's a Super Bowl winner as a coach. He's coached superstar quarterbacks, and what's their biggest problem? You see what he did with Sam Howell last year. So he should have been considered for the job. But, life goes on. Hopefully he'll get a job one day. But like I said before, I just think he needs to just go back to college, get a head coaching job. Who going to deny him after that?
Yeah.
Show them what you can do on the college level. Go back to the NFL as a head coach. Maybe you get a job.
Yeah, and Birdcage, they were saying that, he had some off the field issues, like getting to with college coaches and stuff. Just they worry about the stuff that he did in the past too. I guess he put his hand on the women. I don't respect any dude put their hands on the women at all because he was raised better than. I'm not judging him anything like that, but I just feel like the NFL they just go by what you see in the past, his history. He had a DUI, I guess, drunk driving.
We know that ain't true, Will, because Michael Irvin and Lawrence Taylor in the Hall of Fame. Y'all do the research.
Okay. But yeah, I'm not judging him anything like that. Like I said, we all humans, we make mistakes, we learn from it. But I feel like what Smith was saying, Eric Bieniemy got a job. Dan Quinn, I wish him the best. I don't wish no bad luck on him. But I just think he don't lead that team. I don't think he would fit that coach with the Commanders.
And you got to remember they got new ownership, so they really got their foot buried in the water.
Yeah, I think it was a quick hire because they got upset. Ben Johnson didn't leave Detroit Lions, so they quick got
I was stunned that Eric Bieniemy didn't get a chance in Washington to be the head coach. I thought that was going to happen, and personally, the way I see it, I know people say he doesn't call plays. People say he does call plays. My thing is this. Eventually, you got to give somebody a chance. This is where I get aggravated. Does he have the experience? Does he have the necessary skills that you would want for your team? I would take him. I think, he's one of those guys that you could put on your staff. He could instill some toughness, maybe help with the quarterback, especially one that's not been gotten yet. I mean, I do feel for him in that regard. Now, if rumors are true, Andy Reid and the Chiefs win another Super Bowl and Andy wants to retire, could they call Eric? It's possible. I would hope so because I'll be honest.
He'll have a job.
Yeah, honestly, why would you want to go to Matt Nagy? I wouldn't do that at all.
That's a good point.
Man, Nagy couldn't even coach my niece, and she in hard bottoms, and she can't even walk across the floor, and I wouldn't even trust him to do that.
And by the way, Dan Quinn, I'm, good for him. He got a job, but yeah, I don't think that's going to work.
All right, so we'll keep going on the interview.
Go ahead.
Difference between the Raheem Morris who's sitting here now and the one that was on that sideline just a couple of years ago and was potentially going to be the head coach back then, obviously here now. What are the biggest differences that you think they maybe saw throughout this interview process?
I don't know if there's anything that you solved throughout the interview process. I don't know if you can do it that way. I think it's more about my own personal development, right? Sometimes you need to get away from each other, and you get a chance to go away and you grow. And I certainly, didn't have time to sit around and sulking of the fact that I didn't get it the first time, right? It was find a way to go get better. And I went away. I got around some really great people that I mentioned before. Got a chance to do those things. Got a chance to have the ultimate success in this profession. Found a way to really go through adversity and see who comes out of those things, comes out of those moments, and find a way to rebuild it and do it again, right? All at the same place in a matter of 3 years. I mean, what a ride, right? Before I left LA, I went up to dinner with Sean, and we talked about that. I mean, what a ride that was for the last 3 years. And all it did was make me better to come back home, to find a way to finish off 2016 that we didn't get done.
Not to add to that, Kelly, some people aren't open in talking about their previous experiences, if whether they went well or didn't. Some people aren't very open about it, but the openness and the humility and the clear vision of the things that he's seen from all his experiences and how he's adapted, he's very open about that. But what stuck out about that is I know how smart he is, and I know how the acumen and the experience, all that stuff. I mean, there's not many people that can go, these are the best in the world, what they do to go on either side of the ball. That's pretty rare. But the humility, the natural humility, and talking about things and being very open about how he would adjust, that really stuck out.
You probably can't tell, Kelly, that Raheem's a pretty positive person. And, I think that was something that made an impression on us, was the hard times that he has gone through in the past and the learnings. That's what he turned it into, a learning. There's a lot of people in this industry, if it didn't work out somewhere, that they're bitter about that and they can't let go of it. And so, I definitely saw that in Raheem, that he wanted to learn from it, and he took those learnings, and he's been a mentor to all these guys that are head coaches in the NFL. Even when he wasn't a head coach, they're all looking to him for leadership and mentorship, and that made a big impact on us.
Yeah. So Joe Patrick, front row left.
Hey, Raheem, right here. Joe Patrick, 99 The Game. Nice to meet you. Back to the quarterback issue. And Terry, if you have anything to say about this, I'd love to hear it as well. But you'll obviously have a lot of people you'll rely on when it comes to making a decision on a quarterback that you might want to acquire. I want to ask in particular about Zach Robinson and his background with quarterbacks, not just coaching them, but obviously his background in having evaluated them. How much will you lean on him? And just in general, with Zach, how have you kind of observed him in working with some of the quarterbacks in LA?
Sure. Zach is one of the cooler guys that I can't wait till you guys meet him, right? He's one of the cooler guys to be around, right? He's played the position. He's got some really cool stories about playing the position in Oklahoma State and doing some of those things. He lost to me when he was at Oklahoma State, when I was at Kansas State. So make sure you guys remind him that when he gets here. But his ability to connect with the quarterback, his ability to relate to the quarterback and what they do and how they do it and how they go about their progress. How do they get to the point to be ready to play at the highest level that you need to play in this league? I thought stood out to me working with him. Watching the work that he did with the quarterbacks that's come through when I was in the LA Rams has been absolutely outstanding. Watching his development with Goff and then watching it come with Matthew Stafford. We go through a year where you do it with a couple different guys in the backup situation. We had Baker Mayfield midway. He gets it going, win some games that we probably even shouldn't have won because of the ability for those guys to be able to connect. Getting to this season, we get it going again. We really rally around our quarterback. We find a way to win. The whole team has belief, and that belief just doesn't start with just the player. It's the coaches around them. It's the people around them. It's the things you do to make it really special. And he has an amazing ability to connect with guys and get the best out of them, no matter what happens, in the most positive way, which Greg just mentioned and alluded to. But I am fired up to watch him as a teacher. I'm fired up to watch him as a mentor, as a confidant. All of those criteria that we talk about when we talk about really good coaches. And the young man just has really high capacity. It really does. And I'm fired up to get him here and get us going.
All right.
Congratulations.
That guy's been. You've had your
I appreciate you.
Time.
You good.
I was getting tired for him.
I was going to be patient about it. Congratulations and welcome home, Coach. Yes, sir. First off, Tony Reese, WTVM news leader 9 out of Columbus, Georgia, the ABC affiliate. First off, Coach, when you first got the recognition that you were going to be named the head coach, you received a lot of praise from several players across the league. Just kind of what did that mean to you as well? And in year one, just kind of your vision, some of your goals, what you hope to implement.
It's always a cool experience when you get praise from players you've coached, players you've been around, players that have retired and moved on and done different things, and players that are now coaching and doing some of those things. That is like the coolest thing in the world because it just shows the impact that you wanted to have in their lives and how you've had it. And I don't even know how you feel at those moments because it's so surreal that it just makes you just know what you've accomplished this far and how special it is to you and to them that it's just fun. I don't know how to put it. It's just fun, right? And, as a coach, you're always taught to ignore the noise, right? And that's got to be a part of the noise as well. But it is cool to get some acknowledgement from people that you work with and coached and be able to do those things. So that's a cool thing.
What you hope to implement?
You don't make prediction in this business. It's too hard, but like I said before, every single year you're competing for a championship, and the clear cut goal for us is obviously to win the South. And if you can win the South, you can qualify to get into the playoffs. And if you can get to the playoffs, anything can happen. So you want to go out there and try to get yourself into that mindset. Because like Terry mentioned, it is definitely a mentality before it's ever reality. And that's got to be the focus of all of us. And the last thing with that is, why not us? Why not?
Why not us? I like that.
I love that.
Right there. And what do y'all think it says that so many players are going to bat for Raheem Morris? I've never seen that before in regards to a coach that we've hired. So what do y'all think that says about Raheem?
Like I said before, he's a leader of men. As you've seen over time, dictators over the world that have been leaders, people follow them because of the philosophy that they bring. If they buy into his philosophy, they will follow him. They will play hard for him. And you actually saw it when he was here in Atlanta as an interim coach. They started with 0-5. They won 4 or 5 games the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
at the same time, like I said, he was coaching somebody else's roster, some players that he didn't pick. So now he gets his chance to start over fresh, clean slate, and I think he's going to be a great leader and a great coach. And like I said, he's a great listener. He's answering these questions just like that because he's listening to actually what they're saying. He's breaking these questions down just like that. And you don't see many coaches can do that. Because I seen Arthur Smith up there. He you asked him a question, he looked like he had Showtime at the Apollo about to get booed off the stage.
Hey, hold on, gotta get on the front page. Huh? but now though, Raheem Morris,
9-12, I definitely agree. Why not us? That's a good slogan.
Yeah, why not us? But man, my thing is, man, Raheem Morris is not playing. He don't take none of this for granted. I think he gonna have these dudes playing for like 60 minutes, not no half, 30 minutes. I don't think he let teams will be easy. I mean, he not gonna let teams like run over us like that. I just don't think they're not on his watch.
Man, that's a good point. I'll just say it like this. Proof's in the pudding. And when Arthur Smith got hired, there was no energy. I don't recall. All I remember was analytics people talking about how great his offense was, but you never heard from players. You didn't even hear from Derrick Henry, by the way. You didn't hear from Ryan Tannehill. So, so let's take that. And then here you got Raheem, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. You have Mike Tomlin. You have Snead. You have McVay, Kyle Shanahan even. Everyone to a man has talked how well and what kind of impact Raheem had on their team, their play. Why not the Falcons? I mean, here we are. We have been 7-10, 7-10, 7-10. This man, I believe, is going to be able to help us through those times where we're just struggling along. I believe, guys, the press conference and I know you can't win nothing in a press conference, so I hope we don't have to hear that. I get that. But my thing is this. This is a tone setter. And sometimes you're talking to the fans. Sometimes you're talking to front office, but also there's times you're talking to the players. Here's the thing that got me: Bijan, Kyle Pitts, what was it? Jesse Bates, obviously,
And
Grady Jarrett, but quite a few of those guys never played for Raheem, and they can't wait to have him as their coach. That should tell you something too.
Absolutely.
Yep, great point. Great point. All right, so we'll keep
Like
going.
I said with Arthur Smith, and I'm gonna just say this one quick thing. It's just this simple. Your team is a reflection of you, and if they are a reflection of Raheem Morris and the way he's talking, they're gonna come out and play.
I think so too.
Yep, amen.
Like you've been saying, Smith, a leader of men, man. That's what he seems to be thus far.
Mm-hmm.
Tanitra, on your left.
Yes. Coach Raheem Morris, congratulations.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back. Appreciate having you back here. And Terry, how are you? So it's actually a two-part question. The first question is for both you guys, and the second question is for Coach Ross. So, we talk a lot about numbers, but outside of a number of wins, north of 7, that's the obvious, or a trip to the postseason or something quantitative, Coach, for you, what would define success in your first season as a head coach here? Same for you, Terry. What would you see as success for Coach Rod in the first season? Again, not quantitative,
So
qualitative.
You're going with Ra because it's been a discussion at my house. My kids say go Heem, call him Heem.
Yeah,
That's what Instagram. It's Heem.
I felt like I might have gotten too
You're going
comfortable because
Rod?
then I'm going to call him Heem. So if I put Coach and Raw together, I feel like I'm giving him
Here we
his
go.
propers.
Coach Raw. I like Coach Raw.
Going first.
No, you can go first.
What was the question again?
Okay, T,
Ask me
go.
again. So ask me a question again.
Okay, what is your definition of success for Coach Raheem outside of the quantitative? We all know what that should look like, north of 7 wins at a minimum. But what would be the qualitative where you'd say, hey, mission accomplished, this has been a successful year one?
I think
20
we
and 0.
always have to focus more on the process as opposed to focusing on the result. Let's focus on the process because we know if we focus on that, then we'll reach our goals and we'll reach that. So right now we've been focusing on the staff, looking at every area and the things that we need to adjust, and we'll get into looking at free agency, looking at the draft, and we won't close any doors. Whether we're talking about trades, that we won't close any doors, and we'll formulate our offseason plan, and we'll make sure we get this team prepared for the season. So I wouldn't get into the results at all right now. We would just focus on the process.
Along the same lines is when you guys come to the games along with the fans, I want you to be able to sit in your seats and say, that team executed. They had great fundamentals. That team controlled the ball, and man, did they play with a physicality. Like if you get those 4 things done, which is part of our pillars of success, you got a chance to win whatever amount of number of games that you mentioned, whatever your goals are, whatever your quantitative number is. But if you can do those things every single week, like Terry just mentioned, you will feel really comfortable with the results because of the process that you put yourself through.
And that kind of leads into my next question, Coach Ra. Some fans, just to be honest, like Steak said earlier, they're still kind of triggered on what happened 7 years ago and kind of wonder. A lot of fans have said they feel like it's
Damn
kind of
right.
a throwback to that regime. And so what would you say to those fans where you want to let them know, hey, not that I didn't learn anything from when I was here before under the Quinn regime, but I'm Coach Raheem and this is who I am and this is my philosophy. What would you say to them?
I really
I
think
won
I had the
Super Bowls.
opportunity to do that in an interim basis a couple of years ago and change the dynamic on what things look like, right? Got a lot of like-minded philosophies with Coach Quinn. Got a lot of like-minded things that you do like about it, right? But there's some subtle differences in all of us as people and as humans and how we want to move forward. And I think it's less about telling people on what's going to be different. It's more about showing people what's going to be different, right? And I think I don't have to do it myself. It's the beautiful part about it, right? It's a collaborative effort with Terry, with Greg, with Arthur Blank, with everybody just involved. And I think if that's the mindset, and that's the number one mindset, you will continue to get better and better every single day. And that's just where we are with that.
Go back right.
How you doing, Coach? Congratulations. Welcome home. Jack Patterson with WRBL News 3 in Columbus. A 2-part question for you. First things first, it's been since the 2017 season since the Falcons have had a winning season. What do you do to right the ship here and bring back a culture that Falcons have come close, but they haven't been able to get over the hump, so to say? And then secondly, what have you seen from the current roster that you like, and what have you seen that you want to make changes to?
You know, when you're talking about getting back to that mindset
Bob
of
Ritter.
what you need to do to get over the hump, right? It starts right here. Starts right here. You know, getting with Terry, coming up with this plan, bringing in the coaches that we need to get in place, collaborating the coaches with our scouts, seeing who else we can add to this roster that he's already started to build, done such a great job of doing, being a part of that decision-making with him, with me, us collaborating together. I mean, you can't do that enough, right? Our thing has to be based on our communication skills and how we move daily throughout our lives. That's the number one thing that's got to happen to getting back to that moment, to getting back to those playoff type moments that we talked about with all the people across the board. And the second part of that question, you got away from me really fast. What'd you say in that second part? That's really easy. Drake London. Bijan Robinson. I mean, this man has acquired some really good pieces and tools, right? And the things you got to change is just the obvious holes that we'll talk about, right? And every team every year is going to have some differences. Every team every year is going to have some change. Every team's going to be different. And we just got to keep building on those moments when they change, when they don't happen, when they do happen, yada, yada, yada.
It's exciting.
Okay, guys. All right. The obvious elephant in the room, and I've heard a lot of people say this since the press conference came out. He said Drake London, Bijan Robinson, but we did not hear Kyle Pitts. Is there something beneath the surface there, or he just, he's talking names?
He just answering the question. I don't think it's that serious there. But I'm gonna be real with you. We went through Cap Hill a couple years ago. We're not doing that again. So if AJ Terrell asking price is gonna be too high, they're gonna be watching the market for cornerbacks all season. And if it's too high for them, by the trade deadline, AJ gone. If not, at the NFL draft for free agency when it was a new league.
Yep.
Gotta think about that, man.
So let me ask you this, Smitty. When you say bye-bye AJ, because we're talking about quarterbacks, do you think they could package? Because I've heard fans say this too. Do you think they could package AJ in the deal, maybe to move up for a quarterback?
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that, especially with a team like New England or Washington, 2-3. Both of those they rebuilding completely. So and I could even say Arizona. If the top player there, Arizona at number 4, you have to give up this with AJ Terrell. So you give them AJ Terrell, maybe a first. Well, they probably don't have to give up a first because they only went 4 spots. So AJ Terrell, maybe a first and a third. So but I just don't see them falling back into that Julio Jones, Matt Ryan, Deion Jones hole no more. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
And staying right there, man. I want to ask you another question. Focus on AJ Terrell. Obviously, we know it's time to pay him. Where are you comfortable paying him at? The highest paid corner per year makes $21 million per season. Where do you think AJ falls in at where he is comfortable and the team is comfortable? Like per year average, where do you see paying AJ where you say, okay, this makes sense for the Falcons?
10.
I'm gonna be real, man. It's gonna be the 15 to 17 range. What I would pay him. But when it comes to NFL standards, the number is gonna always go up. So we looking at 20 to 22 possibly. NFL wise.
So when you say 15 to 17, that means you're gonna have. I'm gonna give you the players that you got in his ballpark. You got Carlton Davis, J.C. Jackson.
I read the list.
Tre'Davious White.
Yeah. And see, some of those guys are better than him.
I agree. I'm sorry.
Before Tre'Davious White got hurt, he was probably a top 3 corner in the league.
Yep.
Okay, Smitty. So for the record, you said anything over 17 million, you gonna see him a Dear John letter.
Yep.
I wouldn't pay him anything over 14, to be honest.
He
doesn't.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I love AJ Terrell. Don't get me wrong. but he was kind of inconsistent sometimes. Now he did hold his own. I give him that. But if I'm AJ Terrell, you gotta if you want to stay with the team, just pay the less deal and they could probably reward you later. Because we're trying to build more pieces on the roster. So if I'm him, I'm paying him 10 million. I'm not paying him 17. That's
Yeah,
just me.
I get that part, Will, but come on now. They had to get their money while they can.
You
No,
right.
no,
You right.
no, Smitty. I agree with
I
you.
agree with
They
you.
should get their money, but also stats also should come to play.
Right.
And his best year was 2021. It wasn't 22, wasn't 23.
Yep.
He didn't get any interceptions at all the last 2 years.
Exactly.
Wow.
I mean, and there are times I wonder if his hand, if anyone
Couldn't
could
say
teach him
wrong.
how to catch, because that. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny on this one, man. It's just almost like he's allergic to getting an interception.
Yeah.
For someone to be the number one corner, that's all I'm saying. To
Okay,
be,
C-Dub.
yeah,
C-Dub.
go ahead.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
gonna play the part of the antagonist to the panel.
okay,
Okay. I think AJ actually has some leverage against the Falcons. I'm gonna tell y'all why.
okay.
You let
Go ahead.
AJ go, you got a bunch of QB3s on your team. You don't have a QB1 on this team. So if you let AJ go, you don't have
Those
a starting
CB1s.
cornerback
Yeah.
on the team. So
Okay,
now
I thought you said
so
QB.
now the Falcons are in a hole. So my question to y'all is, do you take that risk? If AJ says, okay, C-Dub, okay, William, okay, Smitty, I want 18.7 million per year, or I'm a buck, I'm gonna leave. Do you take the risk and let him leave and you don't have any replacement on the roster? Hey, D Alford, slot guy. Clark Phillips, slot guy. Jeff Okuda, he probably won't be here next year.
I'm gonna
What
tell
do
you
No,
y'all
what
he
can
do?
ain't.
help. I'm gonna tell you what can help that. If he wants that much, you just go get Butter Baker for cheaper, another safety, and they play over the top of both sides of the field and keep everything in front of them and protect those cornerbacks. That's the only way you're gonna do that if you let AJ walk. You got to go get another piece, another superstar piece.
Well, not just that, but remember, you have Jerry Gray. You also have Jimmy Lake and Raheem Morris, who's coach defensive backs. So this is
Right.
where I would actually look and go, look, I will give you this deal. It is, and I would counter. I will go up as high as 16. And I'm not. Here's the deal. I'm going off stats. I'm going off what you've done. And my thing is this. I think Terry can get away with it because of what he's done with other guys. He hasn't given a big money contract to anybody
Yeah.
on this team. If I mean, I know Jesse Bates, but I think that was just free agency. But
Right.
you know, that's why I said when re-signing guys, he really hasn't done that yet. So that's why I'm kind of like, I hate to say it, but AJ Terrell's numbers, they don't stack up.
And
Yeah.
Well,
it's just AJ Luck.
they re-signed
It's,
Matthews and they re-signed Grady. But go ahead, Smitty.
it just AJ's Luck. This is a great cornerback class.
hmm Yeah, that's that too.
So if they want to replace him, this will be the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me give y'all another caveat. Per spot track, his market value is 19.8 million per year. So y'all saying y'all not gonna pay that?
No, sir.
No.
I
That's
know.
why I said.
Mm-mm.
That's why I said 20 million.
Look, hey,
I
hey,
said 20 to
Pack your
22.
bags,
That
go to
number
the
can go
boys.
up.
yeah,
Nope.
that number could go high, tidy, but honestly, I'm just looking at it. I look at the stats. It's like this. If I'm supposed to pay him high money, then is he cutting off half the field? Is he shutting down the guys? Is he causing turnovers? And I get it. People will say, well, you're supposed to drop the ball down. You're supposed to, make sure they don't catch the ball. But you know what? There were many times we watched Terrell get cooked.
Yeah.
And I hate,
What's the franchise number, Tiny?
oh, yeah, what's the franchise number?
The,
Yeah.
the franchise number for AJ is gonna be right on the 20 million per year.
21, because Trayvon Diggs is the highest paid cornerback. Like, I
Yeah,
remember.
you're right. Yeah, yeah.
He
They
gone.
He
screwed
got a
up.
5-year contract with
Yeah, he gone.
his contract was for 5 years, and I think he got 175 guaranteed. So
Dang
Trayvon Diggs is the
Dallas.
highest paid cornerback right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on and get that AJ Terrell jersey off the Falcon thing when they go on discount.
Don't do it like that. Now, come on, man. Don't do AJ like that. Don't do it
But
nobody
no,
like
but on the
that.
serious, but no, on the serious note, I feel like Washington gonna pay AJ Terrell because Dan Quinn, that's his guy. He picked him in the draft, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think if I'm Raheem Morris, you go in the draft and get you a cornerback, you go in the late rounds, or you go to first round pick. But I think Raheem Morris probably gonna lean on the veteran, like Smith said. It makes sense because I don't think Raheem Morris gonna trust a first young rookie quarterback. Let's blow him out in combine and in the draft and everything. But I don't think it's getting a young franchise quarterback. I think we're just gonna go in the draft and get us a cornerback.
I
Get that
tell
dude
I tell
Kool-Aid.
y'all the team that'll give him a first round pick. Detroit Lions will give Atlanta Falcons a first round pick.
I'd do it. I'd do it.
They don't have a cornerback to save their life.
Because right there, if you did that, you could probably get back in that draft and get you a pass rusher or a cornerback.
Or the cornerback, like I said,
Yeah.
corner is deep in this draft.
Yeah. But I mean, I would like to get a pass rusher eventually.
But one thing about
Yeah,
me, and
yeah.
I stand on things like this. To me, just like running backs, edge rushers is no guarantees in the first round.
Yeah.
Because think about the guy that we found. We found Chuck Smith in the second round. Travis Hall in the fifth round or sixth round or one of those rounds. So we've had, a lot of momentum going in day 2 and day 3 and finding great picks. Grady Jarrett, fifth round pick.
Yep.
So
Oh yeah. I mean, I'll give you that. Yeah. But I'm just saying, eventually, if you could get somebody I just think a pass rusher, to help elevate your team. Now, understand, this is saying this without even thinking what we do free agency. If we go free agency and we end up getting some defensive pass rush, then I'll be happy with what we do in the draft.
Chris, that's why I said Brian Burns is a must. No way around it. That is
Look,
a must.
God, you know what? God bless you, Smitty. I'll let you say my name. It's fine. But yes, Brian Burns. Yes.
Think about it. If you're gonna pay AJ Terrell that money, and he's not productive, and you can pay a pass rusher just $2-3 million more than that, why not go out and get a position you ain't had in a while, and let him get after the quarterback, and let the wide receiver be on the island for a while, trying to get them the ball.
Smitty, you interviewed Father Abraham. You've interviewed John Abraham, and I got to go here. How many times did that man say, "Yeah, they ain't got nobody like me"? I mean, the man would cause other guys to be able to get sacks, just him on the field. That would be something what Brian Burns could provide, and I would love to get a guy like that.
Yeah. And I think they'll get it for the right price. I don't even think they have to go top market.
Let me ask y'all this, because I'm trying to keep my dog AJ in Atlanta. So,
look, give me a coupon.
I'm trying my best to be his agent. So let me give y'all this. If we restructure Lindstrom and we restructure McGarry, that'll give us $14 million in cap space. Would y'all take that $14 million and then pay AJ so you can keep this nucleus together?
I still want to.
Brian Burns.
I'm going after Brian Burns. I'm sorry. Hold on. If AJ will take a coupon, I'll let him stay for about 12 mil. But I would like to get that pass rusher.
I mean, like I say, man, I just feel like AJ Terrell, he had that good season that 2020 and that 2021. But after 2022, 2023, you see his snaps kind of decrease. He been inconsistent. He been good in the ranking, but he was taking too many unnecessary things, like putting himself in concussion protocol. Like Smitty Smith, like the stats don't lie. Like they go by when your health is availability is your best ability. So they really go by your health. And I feel like J.C. Bates was our key to our secondary really, because he was really putting the hard work in. So he deserved every penny. But I'm letting AJ Terrell. Well, I'm paying AJ Terrell $10 million.
I hate to break it to you, my brother, but Jair Alexander gonna be even more than that.
Yeah, he'll want more. So
he gonna be 25 right easily.
he can't even stay healthy. Gerald Alexander can't even stay healthy for his damn life. Like he been hurt when playing against the Dallas game. So
That's a bad medical staff in Green Bay. That's all that is.
yeah. So like I said, man,
Bad management.
this defensive back class is deep, man. They really deep. It's just the defensive back. You got a little 3 cornerbacks and some wide receivers. So it's really the wide receivers, quarterbacks, and the DBs. You really don't see a lot of pass rush talking about.
No, like I said, I'm with y'all. When I think of AJ Terrell, it's like this is my theory. I want to impact the ball, or I want to be closest to the ball. So I want to look at my offensive line. I want to look at my defensive line. I want to, make sure I have my quarterback. Those are the main emphasis. And if that's straight, then I'll spread out, look at corner, I'll look at whatever. That's why. Now, if we get Brian Burns, like I said, I will be totally fine with whatever you want to draft. Because you just relieved a lot of problems right there.
Hey, Julie, we got enough money to sign both of those, but you got to think about the rest of the roster. Not just those 2 players. You got to fill out 53 spots, practice squad, all that. So when you do that, you give 2 people on the same side of the ball that kind of money, and then you got to think about Grady Jarrett's still here.
Yep. And you got to sign your rookie class too.
Okay, and then I'm going to be the jerk. What have we won with AJ Terrell, people?
Nothing. Nothing.
All right. What was
a hot dog and a bag of chips?
I mean, we haven't been to the playoffs since 2017, and people are like, "Oh, well, he's the vital piece to our core." Guys, we haven't won anything with him. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a jerk. I apologize, but again,
I hate to tell y'all, man. 17, 18 million ain't gonna cut it. He gonna be in the 2022 range. I'm telling y'all.
Yeah,
right now.
He gonna want about 20 million.
He could go with the Commanders. He could go with Dan Quinn.
Sergeant Slogan.
Brotherhood. He could reunite with Dan Quinn.
Sergeant Slogan's got a spot for him.
I tried to keep in chat, but they said we gotta let him go. I tried my best to be his agent tonight.
Tiny, me, and Terry Fontenot Smitty have spoken.
I see you, man. I see you.
Yeah, he might return. He might change his number to 8 because you ain't Kobe. You got 24, so you ain't bottom like Kobe. You better change it to 0. You ain't 24.
Okay, Will's cooking now.
I was sorry because he had 8 Kobe number in the clip, so he couldn't even guard Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase would tear him up in that championship game. I'm like, who is that getting the torch?
We're having flashbacks.
that was definitely a bad game for AJ.
One move, he out of there.
We'll keep going on the press conference, y'all. We about at the end. We got about 6 minutes left.
Okay.
We're actually right now, our scouts just got in town and we're starting our February meetings. We're actually doing them out here because of all the construction, but they'll be rolling for the next 10 days, going through their process. As soon as the coaches get in, then we'll get together with the coaches and we'll spend a lot of time with them, not only working on our roster, but talking about the specific profiles at the position. And so we all know that what we're going out and looking for, what we're hunting for, and making sure we're all speaking the same language. That's going to be a really detailed process going through that. And then, again, we go and attack it. And we're going to identify those areas. These are the musts. These are the areas where we have to add to these specific positions. These are the needs. We'll formulate that plan and figure out a way to go get it done. But it all starts with, like Raheem said, that communication, that collaboration between us, between the coaching staff, and then we'll move forward as a team.
All right, we got time for one more. We'll end with Michael Rothstein.
Yeah, I actually have a question for Terry and Greg and then a question for Raheem. Going back to the search.
So basically, you have questions for you.
Yes.
You
This Michael guy, he's got some real pull. He got 2 questions.
Yes,
And I do what I can. Raheem, you'll notice. I'll do what I can. For Greg and for Terry, going back to the search, in terms of Bill Belichick, how serious of a candidate was he? And you guys met with him twice early on in the process. There were a bunch of reports of breakdowns over maybe how much power he wanted. Where did that kind of maybe fall apart in terms of
Never heard of her
when you guys were with him?
Yeah, I can start on that, Michael. all of our candidates, first of all, were serious. We interviewed 14, 3 in person. So we had 3 very experienced veteran coaches that the league allowed us to meet in person. And, we preferred meeting in person versus virtual if we could. Anyone that was under contract to an NFL club, we couldn't meet in person until the 22nd. So we had a lot of time before that where we met with Coach Belichick, Coach Harbaugh, Coach Vrabel, who all obviously have a great track record and were excellent interviews. I think the thing that we came away with and have talked about a number of times afterwards is just the number of fantastic candidates that were out there. And I think Terry mentioned earlier, several of them have already gotten head jobs through this cycle. So probably half the guys that were on our list, are out there, got the jobs that were open. And so Coach Belichick was obviously a very serious candidate for us. You can't have anything but the ultimate respect for what he's done in his career. And at the end of the day, it was just what's the best fit for us in the current situation where we are, the current time that we are. And our group was unanimous to Arthur in our recommendation that was Raheem.
Rah, 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 rah.
No, nothing to add. It was it was an excellent process. And you learn a lot when you're going through that process. And we're talking to some of the brightest minds in the game, whether it was the coaches that have had success already or coaches that we know are going to have future success. So it was an excellent process. It was very thorough. You appreciate those times because you learn a lot about the league. You learn a lot about your team. And it's important to go into it with an open mind and with humility so you can actually listen and learn. And so I appreciated all those. I know we appreciated all those interviews and appreciated the time, and we're thankful for it, and we're excited about the result.
And Raheem, you had talked about your coordinators, and one thing that is noticeable, if I'm correct, is neither one of them has called plays on the NFL level before. Was that a concern when you were hiring the coordinators, and also are you going to be calling the defensive plays, or is Jimmy going to do that?
It wasn't a concern because of the knowledge and the knowledge base from the coordinators that we've gotten here both. And I got full confidence in both of those guys having the ability to do it. I've been around Zach Robinson in certain situations where he's been able to call it actually in NFL games, whether it be preseasons or not, but it's more about the confidence, the flow, how you get it out there, the ability to do those things. And then obviously Jimmy's called it for a long time in the college game. And I don't see a lot of confidence in struggle issues that he'll have calling at this next level. So I'm really confident in both of those guys having the ability to do that. Myself personally, I want Jimmy Lake to get out there and be able to be in front, right, calling the plays, and me be able to be on both sides of the ball so I can really be involved in how we handle situations, how we go about our game management, and all those type of things, just so you can be the entirety of the head coach and you control the football team the way you want to control it. So got some real thoughts in that, got some real thoughts behind that. I can get into depth and how I feel about those things with you, but really got a lot of confidence in those two men calling the game, right? And there's other ways to train people within practice and how you go about your business when you do live periods and stuff like that, when you compete. So, we'll get plenty of time to do those things. And that's all a part of getting better. There was a time that I didn't call a play, and I was able to go out there and do those things just based on how you train and how you develop and how you grow. And that's some of the cool experiences that you have when you do this thing, when you're talking about the people that you want to bring in.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you all for coming out. We're going to wrap up with a quick photo op with all 3 down in front.
Yee.
Okay, gentlemen,
Picture time.
That's the press conference. I do want to thank the chat. Thanks C-Dub. Thanks Smitty. Thank William. Before I let the panel get out of here, I got 2 questions I'd like to ask the entire panel before y'all get out of here. I appreciate y'all time. I know it's getting late, so I won't keep y'all much longer. First question is, I would like for the panel to grade this press conference, because I think we mostly will all agree the firing of Arthur Smith press conference was an atrocity. So what, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would your grade be for this press conference that we just watched as a collective?
This is a perfect 10. He was open and honest and transparent about everything. That's what you need to see from a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting him an A+, man. He nailed everything on the head in the coffin, and he's a leader, and he's going to lead the team to victory, man. I'm proud of him.
This is going to be unanimous. It's a 10. He, like Smitty said and like Will said, hit all the points. And one thing real quick, I love what he said about the coordinating and coach. I need to see everything. So let me explain. As a head coach, when our guy was doing this during plays of a game, looking over the Waffle House menu, trying to get his order right, and then, ooh, I screwed up. All right, that was Arthur Smith. Raw's going to be a lot better. I will tell you this. I could go ahead and put money. We're not going to hear Raheem say toxic about the fan base.
Man, that dude was stubborn, man. I'm glad Arthur Smith out of here. He really put the team back in. The defense carried us all season. The offense couldn't move a mushroom off the ground. So he
I'm gonna
deserved to get
start that
fired.
on Twitter tomorrow. Why not us?
And
Yeah.
man. And
like that.
with Pittsburgh, I say Mike Tomlin will probably get rid of him by then. Like man, see, I just don't think he gonna do a good. I'm not wishing no bad luck. Who knows? But that LC, you got Baltimore and you got Cincinnati coming back. Nah, that was a bad hire.
I see Tannehill signing with Pittsburgh for some reason.
I could see that.
Yeah,
Arthur Smith there too. I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
Or Desmond Ritter.
Nah, I think he'll probably be the third. Probably the third. He'll be the water boy. Passing the Gator Reeves in the
Man,
top.
Arthur Smith wouldn't even make it through the whole season.
That's it, man.
He wouldn't even make the double practice, Smitty.
All right, I got one more question for y'all. We've had 6 consecutive losing seasons. Arthur Smith's tenure was 3 consecutive 7-10 seasons, which got him fired. We have had 3 consecutive top 8 NFL draft picks. We now have a brand new coach, and we all graded. We all came as a collective and a consensus that this was a grand slam press conference. Now, question: press conferences don't win games, as we all know.
Yeah.
So my question is, what are your expectations for Coach Raheem Morris because by next week we won't be talking about this press conference no more. It'll be old in 3 days. So when the real games start getting played in September, what are your realistic expectations for this team? Would you settle for 8-9, or does Raheem need to come out and win year one to get your stamp of approval?
I'm gonna say Raheem Morris, man. I just say Raheem. If he get us these close to 11-5, it's approved to me, man. I don't like I say we're gonna lose more than just 2 games because, like I said, we got a hard schedule. We got Seattle, we got Pittsburgh. Them games winnable, but you got the AFC West. You got to play too. So the only team I say who could lose, I said this team we could lose to: Kansas, the Raiders. Probably who else we play? We could beat Dallas. We're gonna beat Dallas. But only team I see we probably might lose I think we beat Philly. I see us losing like at least 3-4 games, but I just don't know who the rest of the opponent we play. But I know we play the NFC East and we play the AFC West, so we could sweep them. But I just think we probably might lose to Kansas and I said who else? We're gonna lose to the Giants. I think we could beat the whole NFC East. To be honest with you, not trying to take them light,
I'm gonna be real with you. It's still playoff or bust for me, and the reason why I say that, we still pretty much got the same roster, but we got a better coach. We adding talent through the draft. We might add talent through free agents, and that's gonna be a lot of talent spread around. We add the right pieces and the right mix into what we got from last year. Easily a playoff team. I don't care who we play.
Yeah. Hey.
So it's still playoffs and bust for me.
All right, this is kind of eerie because I'm thinking about these games and I'm going because we're going against the AFC West, we're going against the NFC East, and I'm going. Wasn't that the same set of teams that we played to get to the Super Bowl?
I think so.
We're going 17-0. That's how I'm going to end this sucker. We're going 17-0. Rob's going to win every freaking game. We're going to the Superdome, brother. We're going to, or Little Caesars Pizza, Big Low Country, and Uncle Steve going to get buck wild and see the Lombardi come back to Atlanta. No, I will say this. I think 10 wins is the best. I'm going to say 10 wins number-wise, but I'm thinking...
I think it's 11-5 to me.
Yeah. My thing is this. I want to give a minimum of 10 because I think that's what you need to win the NFC South. because we don't know what changes we're about to see for Tampa Bay, for what was it, New Orleans, and then we already know. We also Charlotte, because Brian Burns comes to the Falcons. That's going to shift a major role play for us. So again, I'm with Smitty. It's playoffs or bust. I do agree with that, because I think even Raheem even said, because people on the Dukes of Bell, where they were talking to him, they said, we're trying to tell fans, just give Ross some time, give him a chance. And Ross said, no, don't tell him that. We need the pressure. We're not entitled to anything. This is what I'm talking about with Raheem. So I will say 10, and I think we're going to be competitive as a mug, though. I think this year you're going to see some fun football from the Falcons.
Yeah, I'll echo that sentiment. And we know the draft hadn't happened. We know free agency has not happened, but regardless of how that plays out, all the talking they did tonight, hey, we got to at least win 10 games, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Before we even get to that point, you can't have another losing season. This fan base won't allow it. If so, we're gonna riot. Hey,
we got to beat the Commanders and the Steelers now. That's the two games you got to win, though.
Right, no doubt.
And
But
and be the rest of our NFC South.
Well, yeah, I was just talking about our own coaches, so.
Yeah,
right,
so
right. But I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and get us out of here, fellas. We're going on about 3 hours and 30 minutes, and it's getting real late. So I'm gonna get us out of here. Before we go, Smitty, I want to thank you for joining us. I want to thank William for coming through. Thanks C-Dub for coming through. Smitty, I know you go on normally every Tuesday. Y'all going on tomorrow or today? Y'all going on later on today?
I don't think so.
We just wore Smitty out.
Hopefully we see you Thursday, man. See if
I
we
ain't that damn old. I don't nod off in my sleep like this.
I do sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do.
Hey, I got that old man spirit. I can be downstairs on the sofa and just watching TV.
Yeah, jump up. Oh, I ain't sleep. I'm good. I'm good.
So remove the remote. Who changed it? I was watching TV.
Hey, but we gonna get out of here again. I want to thank the entire panel. C-Dub, Smitty, William. It's been a pleasure. Chat. It's been a total pleasure. I appreciate y'all interaction and the love. We're gonna get out of here. Raheem Morris, new head coach for the Falcons. Great press conference, gentlemen. Y'all have a blessed night, blessed day. We out here. Peace out, guys. Gone.
Peace.